Sure.
Well, I guess it's 6 o'clock. All right. Welcome, everybody, to the September 6th, 2022 regular meeting of the Lynham Board of Selectmen. This meeting is a public proceeding and is being recorded. The agenda is subject to change without notice. Would you like to stand for the pledge of allegiance, please? Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As you can see, Rusty's not here tonight. He has an away game, so I'm filling in for Rusty. I'm gonna try to anyway. No special offers or presentations, so hearing of delegations, public input. Paul Thurston, discussion regarding gate at the old Kennebuck Road.
Yes.
Try to come up here, please.
Yep. I own some land down on Kennebuck Road. I got a diagram here that I made. I don't know if you guys are interested. This is from the Alfred End.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
I believe that the town of Alfred's land ends where the hot top ends. That's what I've been told. I'm not 100% sure of that. And that's where the gate is.
Mm-hmm.
Those old dump sites, I've traveled the road. I'm up there all the time. I got pictures too if you guys want. I went yesterday. I traveled the road. I went to all them old dump sites. And there's nothing. There's nothing on that road.
Thank you.
The line, the end on Hissons, where Du Bois and Hissons. And that gate's been open ever since the gate was put in. They put the gate in, somebody ripped it out, and then, because they didn't put enough cement or something. So they made the gate wider, then they dug it over so they could get it in with more cement, and then they left it wide open. It's been open the whole time.
How long, what's the span,
So- What's that?
what's the span of time you're talking about, sir?
Whenever it was put in.
I've
Joe.
locked that gate a couple of winters myself.
You've locked it?
This
On,
other
on,
The one out on the Lyman end, yeah.
Yeah, back when I was
I've
a board
never-
member, it stayed locked until hunting season.
Yeah, that's what it was for us for a while.
If you want to get up in there, the abutters, they land up in there, they can come get a key from the town hall.
That's what we did.
okay,
And then we had,
all right, so for many years, it's been unlocked.
Yeah.
And I'm talking 10 anyways.
maybe the last 3,
You think so?
yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I think it's been longer than that, because I've traveled that road. I've owned land up there for 25 years. I'm up there all the time.
Open during hunting season.
That's the other end. The
RN too.
well, well, it's been open for many years, I know that. Regardless, on the Alfred end, this is first of all, thank you guys for your time. I appreciate you listening to me. I went up there and the lock had been changed. This is the third time it happened to me. So I took the gate down and I damaged it, and I'll fix it and I'll make it right. And then I'll take some pictures and I'll show you guys, regardless of what you decide to do, whether keep it open, lock it, or whatever. I know it's open during hunting season. I'll fix it. All right. The guy that's your butter up there, and I don't think he's here. I don't see him. It doesn't surprise me anyways. But he paints a picture of people dumping up there and crazies going up there, and that's what he calls the people that go up and down the road. They're crazy and blah, blah, blah. The worst people in the world go out there. But that was, I wanted, first of all, when was that gate put up? Does anybody know the year?
Oh, I've read stuff back all the way to 2016, 17.
Longer than that.
No,
I
it's
can't-
longer, it's definitely longer.
Yeah, I can't.
Up until 4
I
or 5
retired 8 years ago.
The town of Alfred handled the Lyman end just as a courtesy for
Yeah,
us.
until that guy bugged him so much, but then they didn't want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, then they handed it to us.
Yeah, they said they didn't want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, so
And
we
he
had,
had another guy, a neighbor, that was buddies with him,
yeah,
and that guy abandoned him too. So he's on his own now.
yeah, the other thing we did with that was, we had people such as yourself that wanted to be in and out of there.
Yeah,
So what we did, we gave them keys, so
Yeah.
they had individual keys
And
on,
that-
on our end.
yeah, and that worked, that was fine. But now this is the third time that the lock has been
Yeah,
changed.
that's not right.
And now, do the wardens of the ambulance and the fire trucks, these guys all have keys for this new lock that's only been on here for
No,
a week?
Did they ever put the Knox box in?
That's, was the chief.
Yeah, about 2 years ago, we put a little U-shaped pass on it, and on one side was the town's lock, and the other side was the fire department's lock.
Yeah,
And this is the first I'm hearing of any of it
yeah, yeah. me
since
too.
we did that.
Yeah,
But Moore says,
By itself.
Morris,
Also,
We didn't get anything on the Alfred side, so.
and I can't tell you what year this took place, but it's been quite a while, a long time,
Yeah.
right? Everybody was up there dumping trash. I mean,
Yeah,
really dumping
yeah,
trash.
yeah,
So the US government owns quite a lot of land up in there.
Yeah.
So the US government said, if you help us clean it up, we'll stand part of the cost. So the town of Alfred came in from their end, we came in from their end, and both road commissioners spent 2 days up there just cleaning trash
I remember.
and getting rid of that, right?
Yeah.
So that's when we decided to put a gate up on each end, and the advisors could have keys in and out,
Yeah.
and leave it open during hunt season. And
okay.
it's kind of got by the wayside, it hasn't worked out that way the last few years.
And my only thing is, it was a mess
Yeah.
back then. I remember that.
It was
I think I had 10 tires on my property myself, and it was,
I think we,
it was
I think
locked.
we pulled more than 40 off my
Oh,
property.
Sure. But it took a long time for that to happen.
Yeah.
No one's been up there since 1947. No one's lived there, right? When the fire came through, no one lived there. So that took a long time to happen. And alls I'm saying is maybe we should just try to open it up, leave it open. I'll fix it. I'll do whatever you want me to do. I'll fix it. I'll put it back. I'll take it completely out. I'll bring it wherever you want, whatever you want to do. and let's open it up. And I'll keep an eye on it. If you give me someone's email, and if I see someone dumping, or if I see that someone has dumped, I'll let you know right away, and we can call the wardens and handle it like that, just because another thing is too, is up there, Mrs. Bassett has died, and that's the pond right there. They own thousands of acres up there. They own a lot of land up there. She has passed away. She has 2 children, and I'm pretty sure they don't want nothing to do with it. I think they have sold
Excuse me.
some.
I'm Chip Bassett.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Hi, well,
Sorry, I didn't recognize it.
Well, you obviously didn't know my father.
Yeah, I did. I used to work for him.
How the hell do you not recognize me?
No, I used to work for him, Scott. But anyways, times have changed. And the other day, I even rode up around the pond and everything. There's nothing out there. So,
Well, that road along the pond, somebody moved boulders that were put to block people from going on the landing and going out that road. I just walked it this evening, and there have been obviously Jeeps and 4-wheeler out there. I didn't walk all the way out. I don't know what the hell they're doing out there. Maybe they're just joyriding and whatever, but that is a well-traveled road.
yeah,
And I'm not too happy about that.
okay.
well, here's,
One other thing before I'll let you guys take it
no,
over.
no,
I'm sorry, I didn't recognize you, but there's the only posted land on that road right now is about halfway down. Is for about a mile on the left-hand side, if you're headed towards Lyman from Alfred. That's posted. Every 50 feet, the guy has a red thing, and it's posted, and it has been for years. And then to Du Bois's, it's all not posted, and from there back towards Alfred's not posted, and then the whole right side's not posted. And, so to me, this doesn't make sense to close that off to everybody in town if that is a town road. I just feel like more people should be able to drive down it.
Well,
And use it
that's
because-
an interesting question.
Because people, before that was gated, I worked up there every winter, and people used that road every day. They did,
no, this is a discontinued town road, the way I understand it.
No, I don't think it is.
Tom, I'm not sure that, we tried calling it at one town meeting, and we didn't notify the abutters property, so it was illegal.
Okay,
And another thing, you wanna check it out, that's an old county road.
It's a county road too. It's a county road.
And the only ones that can legally close it, it's the county, not the town. That was the same with Walker Road, way back, they said they closed it. And when I moved out there, I asked them to plow, and I said, well, you can't close it. The only ones that can legally close it is the county commissioners, and they never have. And they looked into it, and I was right, because I looked it up.
Just like the end of New Road,
Yeah,
it's still county road.
It's a county road.
But it's subject to gates and byways that don't.
That's all I have for you.
Can you just point out which gate you're talking about?
Okay. All right, this is a government gate. That's mine, it's my property. And this is the Lyman end. The one
that's the one that you took down.
No, that's on the Lyman end,
On the south end,
Which one did you open up?
on the Hisson end, on the Alfred end.
So it's not any of these?
No. It's at the very beginning, it'd be at the first.
If you drive over and see it, you'll see the absolute worst road in Lyman.
Yeah,
It's rough.
So who owns the gate?
the town,
The town of Lyman?
Yes.
Which is on-
Alfred gave it to Lyman.
Yeah,
Okay, that's what you guys said, okay.
Alfred
Kind of,
installed it and gave it to you.
It's on Lyman land.
And it's on Lyman land.
Yeah.
So when I read about this weekend, I mean, my only heartache on it to start with was taking the gate down. And, like somebody said, gave us some pictures of it here. I guess, a discussion would have been nice. And so that's my first concern. sounds like there's been a lot of, and I read a bunch of it this weekend, and I remember going back 2016, and Morris said probably went back further than that. There's a lot of history here, and I think we should revisit. It's a new board, where we should revisit it, look at it, and come to some decisions. That's my recommendation. But I think that gate should go back up, since it was our gate, and I would, I think, because the state police was brought into it, there's a email that somebody filed a complaint, and they said
That's Tom, the guy that thinks that he owns everything up and down both sides.
Yeah, so we don't want to get into a,
He doesn't want, if he had it his way, no one would get down that road.
Yeah.
He told me a week ago that the town said it was okay that he went and got a lock and keys and everything and put it on that gate, and that I needed to come up here and get a key and this and that and all this, and
thinking, but here's
it's crazy.
No. So,
He actually, he sent me a text and told me that he approached the town, is there Lindsay that works for the town?
yep, Lindsay is our
He had
selectman
said
clerk.
to me that somebody took bolt cutters and cut the lock off, so there wasn't a lock on the gate. So he's reported that, and then I was looking into the gate, I don't know anything about this gate. It's the first time I've ever heard of it.
Is that fair enough?
So
Yes,
he did
at any
replace the
rate,
locks, and
he-
he gave me all the keys, but by the time I could even distribute it or notify anyone, the gate had been taken down. So at that point, it was kind of moot.
Yeah, I found out about this meeting because I called, Tom sent me a text saying, I put a new lock on, there are keys at Lyman Town Hall, and I called to make sure that someone was here who knew where the key was, so the last time I came up to get a key, a couple of years ago, it took a while. Anyway, I called and they said, well, there was a new lock, but the gate's gone now, and there's a meeting on September 6th, so that's why I'm here. And my understanding is that Mr. Plummer did make sure that he gave a key to fire and rescue or whoever the
You've
town.
been here on that issue before, sir,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Yeah, I thought you
Or
had.
Scott was here too one time. So,
But one other thing, that just history, there was dumping, but there were, can't speak to who's going down there now, but there were some crazy parties going on.
Yes.
There was a teenager that got run over.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to go backwards. You don't want to go back to that.
you know,
We have game cams now and all that stuff. I
That's
think
what I
the
was
Forest
thinking.
Service, we should look into the Forest Service and what have you. So, I'm gonna need to look at more of the historical stuff, who's who, talk to some people and.
okay. And I just, again, I feel like most of that land is available for use.
Yep.
Even if someone, if Chip or I have a gate for liability reasons.
Yep.
You know, and obviously to keep people out and blah, blah, blah. But that's town road, you know, and I believe that the public has the right to use it.
Well, we'll look
Year
into it
round.
and we'll deal with the road commissioner and see what he has to say.
It is a county road. Not a town road.
County.
But there's a huge difference, just so you'll know. So
Right.
we can't just automatically do what we want because it's a county road.
Okay, so
The bad issue about just letting anybody come and go down that road is you will have the same problem you had 10 years ago. That will become a dump site and a
Chip,
party site.
You said you've already had stuff of yours moved around.
What are you gonna do when I build a house?
Hey,
Am
Boulders
I gonna have
open
to
up one of those.
unlock a gate every night when I go
Primary
in
lock
for it?
road, open
I
up
don't think
into my
so.
landing.
And that's not too far around. I'm gonna be building down there. I'm not dealing with no gate.
Well, we'll let us take a look at it. All right,
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Take a look and get back to you.
No.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All good.
Okay, next is public input. Public in attendance will have up to 5 minutes to address the board. And as always, this is to address the board. We're not going to get into debate. banter back and forth. This is just if anybody needs to make a statement. Yes, ma'am. Can you state your name?
My name is Melissa. I live on Fort Farm Road. I actually wrote down my comments because I tend to talk too much. So I hope you don't mind if I read them.
It's
That's
okay.
okay?
It's okay.
Thank you for your time. I want to talk about the selectmen entertaining the idea of a police department. Again, I've written to you before about this. And I just have a bunch of information written down. So the crime rate for Lyman is a grade B overall, as reported by the state reported crime statistics. And according to the state police, this is often underreported as residents and locals know there's no local law enforcement, and the response times for state police is low. The only other small bedroom community locally that has a municipal law enforcement is Buxton. They're about twice the size of Lyman. Lyman has about 4,500 people. The issues with Lyman, as opposed to Buxton, is that we're strategically located off the state highway. This makes for easy access for criminal activity. There's many secondary roads that lead to other smaller towns that also do not have local law enforcement, which is easy for transport and egress. Easy access to the larger cities with more criminal activities. In other small towns like in the country that are like ours that have no law, municipal law enforcement, that have disbanded their law enforcement, which isn't exactly what has happened here, but have swapped to a larger state police type entity, which is equivalent to what we have here. Crime rates have shot up exponentially. The reasons why is that state departments don't know the area, they don't know the people, they have significantly longer response times and often cover a larger geographical area. I live here on Kennebunk Pond and my family has lived here for over 70 years. And I can only speak to what's happened in my area. I don't know the entire town, obviously. In the last few years, we've seen an increase in drug-related crimes at Kennebunk Pond Beach and parking area. There's been needles found along the road on Kennebunk Pond Road. Car windows have been shot out along Kennebunk Pond Road and Shore Road. Female residents have been followed and chased by males in vehicles while walking along roads around the pond. I personally spoke to the state police this summer after being followed once and chased twice by the same vehicle and males. I called for help the first time I was being chased, and I was told that they were busy, this is by the state police, and could not come to help me, and to carry a gun the next time I wanted to walk or exercise. I was alone. My husband actually broke his leg this summer, has been held up on crutches the entire summer. The people that were chasing me came from the beach out of a vehicle, and I did get the license plate number, and they were from out of town. After a lengthy conversation with an officer in the state police, I was told that they were very aware of the drug issues in Lyman and feel that it is a major contributing factor to the rise in criminal activity. They admitted that they only have 1 or 2 officers on duty for some of the day and not at all at night. They're on call. And that they would like to see the town have some type of local law enforcement to take the burden off of them. Furthermore, they noted that the money paid to the state would likely offset the cost of personnel. And then in the conversation, I know that someone's here from the fire department, perhaps an option would be to house the PD at the fire department, which may be big enough, and they already have communication set up for dispatch. To further offset costs, perhaps a joint department with another small town like Alfred or Dayton would be a worthwhile endeavor. Some of the concerns with rural law enforcement would be recruitment, lack of resources, staff, technology costs. But there are grants available through the state for training and equipment. I've actually had these written down that I can share with Selectmen. Obviously, this is a small town, and this issue's probably come up before. And reading the annual budget and meeting minutes, I couldn't find the budget that is paid to the state police for their participation in law enforcement. But they did assure me that they are paid on a municipal level, but wouldn't tell me the exact amount. I know that the turnout at an annual meeting is low considering the number of people or property owners in this town. However, of that, 1/3 of the taxpayers do not claim Lyman as a primary resident, so they can't vote. I'm one of them. While they support the tax base, they don't have a say. So right now, taxpayers get very little for their money of the fire department. Thank you. In terms of a police department, with proper planning, potential grant funding, it is quite possible to have a municipal department with zero to little tax impact. I actually formally wrote to the selectmen. My husband was a police commissioner in another state and has helped that town get a municipal police department with minimal tax impact. It takes time and planning. So my question to the selectmen is, what would it take to open your eyes? A woman being abducted and raped, murdered, the bedroom community being completely overrun by criminals? That's where this is heading. And after being on the pond for 70 years, I feel that being a person that is represented by the third is not actually being represented. This is no longer the quiet, quintessential Norman Rockwell friendly farm town that it was once, the town that I remember as a little girl. It's evident that there's a lack of master planning. It's evident there is a criminal element that's taking a stronghold because of the ease to do so. And unless the selectmen stop and take notice and do something now, the town will not prosper and thrive. It will only decline. And it's up to you to stop it. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Anybody else? Sure, Morris.
You guys, back here a while ago, Mr. Demers gave up the mowing contract, correct? Around the village and all the small mowing contract, right? And you guys combined that with the bugging up mowing, am I correct in saying that?
Yes.
Okay, all right, okay. So when you did this, did you get 3 quotes? Because there's a definite change in the scope of the work. Did you get 3 quotes to go out to bid, or what happened there?
Okay, I'm Morris, with all due respect, okay, this is public input and I'm not prepared to answer that because I wasn't the chair at the time.
No, I understand it, no, I
Okay.
understand it.
But it's something we can look into. And I would prefer to it be put on as an agenda item as opposed to public input.
We put it on
because it
next
has a-
meeting? We put it on next meeting?
Absolutely.
Okay,
You okay with that?
I'm good with that. Yes,
Thank you.
Definitely, yeah, definitely.
Anybody else? All right. Man, what do we get from man? Mail/complaints, I guess. Oh, this happens to be the Kennewick Pond Road, the first one. I think we've taken care of that one. Take care of that. He's not here, so I'm not going to address that. Mail from Regional School Unit 57. Regional School Unit 57 currently has several buses and vans which do not meet the current state requirements of the RSU to be able to transport students within the public school system. These vehicles will first be offered to the towns for the municipal purposes in accordance with the school board policy. Please contact Rebecca Ridley if the town has any interest in using any of these vehicles for official town activities. We do not hear from you before September 12th, the vehicles will be put out to a public bid. From Colin Wolf, Director of Finance and Operations. Chief? Anything for training?
Potentially.
That's the first thing that came to my mind. All right, any discussion? Nobody wants a bus right around
I don't
town?
know if this is a great idea or not. Waterboro took one. And what they did with theirs, you're probably familiar with it. They said during fires in the winter and during most any type of fire, there is no place for anybody to get out of the elements, whether it's the family, whether it's anything else. And I'll bet you 6-8 years ago now, town of Waterboro got one, found somebody painted red, and that's exactly what they use it for. If they have a situation where the fire department has an emergency and they need to keep somebody warm, get some people under cover, regroup, they use it for that. No, I haven't done any research. I don't know if it's a great idea or a terrible idea. You just jogged my memory.
It's not a bad idea, but any,
So that one that John's talking about was a combined effort between mainly Waterboro and Alfred. And we actually donated some equipment to it as well. I think pretty much the big thing we donated was the generator. To my knowledge, it's not on the road, but don't quote me on that. I can check on it. It's not on the road
Okay.
anymore. The city of Biddeford has one, and at the Williams Road fire, the last bigger fire we had, we actually got that bus out of Biddeford and came up and did exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, that's much better than us owning one.
Like, and Biddeford's gracious enough to offer that to us anytime we need it.
Yeah.
My concerns would be, if we took this on, would be maintenance costs,
Mm.
budget costs, and
Yeah.
staffing to operate it.
I agree.
do we have any MOUs with them, or is it just
So
a-
mutual aid agreement.
okay,
Yeah.
all right. So guess we'll pass on that. Oh, this is from the planning board to Evolution Site Services. Action,
In your ordinance, I just don't know where to put this on the agenda. It says that the planning board has to notify the select board every time they make a decision.
Mhm.
So they're just saying, this is the decision we made.
notice of decision.
Yeah. I mean, you can go through the whole thing if you want. I just.
This is the tower, right?
Mhm.
Is that, yeah. the
Yeah,
yellow
this
one
is, the Board of the planning board has made a notice of decision for the application to install a new wireless telecommunication facility, including a 12-foot wide gravel access drive, a fenced-in compound area, electric and telephone utilities, a freestanding lattice-style tower, electronic equipment and antennas located on 283 Middle Road in Lyme. So, that's what the notice of decision was. Okay,
You might get better cell service.
that would be nice. Okay, that takes care of mail complaints. Minutes. Anybody got an opportunity to read the minutes? Any additions or deletions, corrections?
The only thing I didn't see on there was the discussion of the well work that we talked about a little bit. But maybe that was a small enough one, so it didn't get put on there.
The need to go out to put a well in on a bunging up field?
Yeah, I didn't read, I've only read them once, sometimes I miss stuff. That's the only thing, and I mean,
Remember anything about that?
Look at the video. I mean, it would be,
Was that about the bill itself? It was
yeah,
we received an,
it was an
Well,
estimate, it
an
was an
estimate,
estimate, it
and
was
it was
a
on a
bill,
bill.
what was- yeah.
Oh, that's not for the well, that was for the water to, and I think
All right.
we have that.
I just didn't see that, maybe I missed it.
it should be on there, but it might just be a little, or, I mean, it's kind of like summary notes.
We do have it as an unfinished business here later on for that particular, but I know we discussed that eventually we need to put a well out there, but that's a
Yeah,
whole
I
nother.
remember discussion of, the guy gave us an invoice, but it
Yep.
was stuff that work that had already been done.
Right.
That's,
Did you see it on there, did I miss it?
No, but it is on this agenda, so we'll look at it.
Okay, we'll deal with it today.
Okay?
Yep.
Anyone make a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from August 22nd, 2022.
Yeah,
as submitted.
I'll second that.
Any more discussion? All in favor? Okay. That was easy. Warrant articles. First one, payroll warrant number 11, in the amount of $23,016.25.
I'll I'll make a motion that we accept payroll or approve payroll warrant number 11 in the amount of $23,016.25.
Any discussion? All in favor? No. Lindsay, this has the signatures. Is this just our copies of the signatures in here?
Yeah, the signatures are in the.
Okay. All right. You're lost. Next, accounts payable warrant number 69, FY '22, in the amount of $20,000. This is for the Walker Road expenses and reconstruction.
Brad, you see that bill?
I did, I approved it.
I'll make a motion to.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Any more discussion? All in favor? Accounts payable warrant number 12, FY '23, in the amount of $590,455.64. That's the big one.
Make a motion that we accept accounts payable warrant number 12 in the amount of $590,455.64.
I'll second that one.
Can I don't have it. Can I see it?
Yeah.
It should be, you just had it, should be stapled together. It's a bigger one.
I do have it.
We've had a motion, second. Most of this is going to RSU.
That was my only discussion. I want to make sure people know.
And Goodwood's Mills higher. Any more discussion? All in favor? Ooh. Accounts payable warrant number 13, FY '23, in the amount of $191. Good.
I will make a motion that we accept accounts payable warrant number 13 in the amount of $191.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor? All right. All right. Oh, this is you. I want to make sure I get you. You're going. Yeah, this is the Lyman property, map number 3, lot 94.
It's actually 92.
Well, it was 92. 92 is no longer there.
It's all part of the big old lot.
Okay.
But the question was 92, which is an acre and a half, and I have a release form from the town to my wife and I for a lien.
A
Back in-
release.
A lien release back in 1987.
The original copy signed by the treasurer at the time.
And I don't know why this was not recorded in the register of deeds, or why the quitclaim deed was not registered way back when it was sold in 51.
Okay.
But somebody,
81.
51, when Ralph bought it. But everybody makes mistakes.
Mhm.
But we're trying to get it cleared up.
Okay. And where are you in this process? Did you know what, because you stopped by, you talked to Brad Warren. Brad Warren is your attorney.
He was our attorney, but he recused himself because when he found out that it possibly might be owned by the town.
But not really owned, it's just, it wasn't properly released.
Correct.
Is what the problem was.
And he didn't
It wasn't
want-
properly recorded.
He said it wouldn't be a good thing to represent both parties.
Well, I can see where that would be a problem, a little bit of a problem. So he's recommending to use Timothy Murphy from Prescott Jameson Murphy Law Group. Just to clear it up and make sure it's
Right,
Right.
just that small out sale.
The cloud on the title is,
Yeah.
That's the proper term for it, the cloud on the title.
oh, is it?
Yes.
Nice.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that didn't know that.
You what?
Cloud on the title.
So it's basically, this is a synopsis from Lindsay. Says it seems there is just a cloud on the title and the attorney needs to do an abstract of title before concluding a quick claim deed. So this is different than if it were just a tax acquired land. Okay, so when you agree that you have Brad and we need.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it looks like, I read the letter that Brad sent, you guys have a copy of it. He had done basically he did an abstract of title, did a little research, found there was just missing documentation at the registry of deed level. So it's, it'd be hard to say it's town of Lyman's property because the town of Lyman right now is saying it's their property. And the
It had
CP
been-
says it's town of Lyman's property, so it just needs, you really kind of need like legal counsel, I think.
Yeah, didn't Brad recommend an attorney?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Murphy, Murphy.
Yeah.
That would make sense just to do it that way, to be quick.
Okay,
Who's to get the attorney?
we do.
Yeah, you-
Because Brad, they've already used Brad. Brad's recommending this guy. He would work with the charter commission with you guys?
The charter commission prior to us,
Oh, prior. Oh,
2015.
in the past.
And I remember him too.
I mean, so basically their attorney did the work on their part.
Mhm.
I think it would be wise for the town to make, let's not just go by one attorney like
Yeah.
theirs. You get your own and kind of just cross.
Yep. Second opinion is kind of
And you have copies of the paperwork that we.
a copy of the,
Was your
Which just shows us.
question, Dave, as to who was gonna pay for the attorney? Is that what you-
Yeah, I mean, whose
Yeah.
whose responsibility is it? I mean, is it the town's responsibility to do the research? Or is it Steve's responsibility to do the research? I'm not looking to get out of paying a bill.
So
I think a fair amount of the
Which
research.
is-
Do the research on our end.
Right,
Now it's you
Okay,
it's
guys
us.
need to confirm.
So,
that
so
was-
if it's still cloudy or not 100%, my thought is, can the town get title insurance on something like that, or?
We had
Is that-
title insurance on it when we bought it.
Okay, well, this next transaction, it would probably require another policy, that's all I'm saying.
Just a quick,
Just to ask the question anyway to
Yeah.
council.
It's not necessary to buy title insurance. It's a, when you go for a closing, they ask you if you would like it. It's just like
I get it.
life insurance.
Yeah,
yeah, all we've ever done town-wise is a quick claim deed.
The only other question I had is if it, not that we see that anybody's gonna contest it, but if it just advice-wise, there's a 30-day appeal period on any decision that's made. Will that come into effect with this? Somebody technically could appeal.
Yeah.
All I'm saying, I'm only bringing that up to you in case now you have a foundation in the ground and
We've got a hole, no foundation.
I'm
No,
saying
no.
2 months a month down the road.
Oh, okay.
somebody
That's
comes
gonna
knocking
happen.
on the door.
So I just wanted.
There is no heirs. Brad found that there was no heirs to that property.
It could be appealed by anybody in town.
I think he's saying
Anybody
like if you
down?
got a building permit.
Yeah, they can appeal that decision.
Even with all the documentation.
It's a 30-day right. That's all I'm saying, just be aware of it.
Their appeal may not change anything, but they have the right to appeal.
yeah,
Exactly.
just make your life a little bit.
Did you just move to hire the attorney and go do that?
Yeah, I did.
Motion.
That
I'll
was a
second it.
motion.
I just seconded Dave's motion.
Any other further discussion? All in favor? Okay,
One question.
yes.
Roughly timeframe, do you think, on getting an attorney to hire?
Well,
We
I'm-
picked one, right?
Tim Moore.
Murphy?
Tim Murphy, I'm sure she'll be on it tomorrow morning
Yeah, okay.
and we'll let you
Hopefully
know.
by the next meeting.
We know it's time sensitive, so we'll ask.
Yeah,
Expedite.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Just trying to
Keep it
get
moving.
Yep.
things scheduled.
Yep.
You know, do we go back to Florida and fly back in a month or?
Well,
Do we
see what
Why
Lindsay
would you-
finds out.
why would you
Actually-
always come back?
Huh?
You can do it by proxy at that point if you're down in Florida.
That's, okay,
You don't have to-
if that's an option.
That's what I was gonna say.
Well, we'll see what
Yeah.
Lindsay finds out tomorrow. Will be
I had
contact
email.
with you.
And fax machines,
Yeah, technically.
All
they
right,
can find it no matter where you go.
well, exactly.
Yeah, it's just, things don't always work right. But thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, guys,
welcome.
and young lady.
Appreciate it.
I wouldn't leave you out. Now I gotta get up.
Okay, franchise agreement. This just needs to be tabled for now because it's not gonna make the November.
The ordinance part,
ordinance.
right?
But we said we haven't made the decision, we are gonna sign the agreement.
I mean, yeah, it seems like you guys would agree, you want an ordinance,
Right.
so it's probably gonna be tabled until you get closer to your next town meeting. You have to revisit it.
Was there a downside to that by losing?
Yeah.
We lost money, didn't we?
Then, well, the further you kick the can down the road, the further the money goes away from you.
And he said there wasn't a downside by signing and not having the ordinance.
It's just a little better,
Well,
you know. But
I would just table it until the next meeting, and let Rusty make that. I'm not gonna- I can do that. Unless you guys think otherwise.
no, I don't think we have to do anything tonight. I'm just, I don't think we want to wait until June, that's all.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So if we can't have the ordinance in place, you know, what's the worst case scenario of not having the ordinance in place? I didn't think it was that big of a deal,
I didn't think so either.
you know?
Right.
Right, we're still in with the franchise agreement.
Right.
We just have to be clear on what the agreement is. I hope
But this
you
has
guys
already
are
been
way
reviewed by
clearer
the
than
attorney and everything, right?
Right.
I do,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. So we're.
We
So,
have
I mean,
a
we're the
we-
caught in
Being
the clear.
clear.
Yeah, we have a version of it that's ready to go back to them, saying, hey, we redlined again.
So maybe we should send it back.
It sounded like another motion.
Too, I'm tired.
It's funny how these things happen.
Can you clarify your motion?
No.
Please.
I make a motion to send the contract from Tony Bigview back to town council for further review, or for the redlined review.
I think town council did that, right?
I thought they did, yeah.
So we're sending it back to, is it
We're
Shelley?
sending it to Shelley
Shelley.
Wickenbacker,
Which is about.
Witchy back.
I will second that motion.
There.
Okay.
Any more discussion?
No.
All in favor? Wow, that was a tough one. Okay, Oscar Littlefield Road, updates and or scope of plans, if any. We have a scope of work that was put together by our road commissioner, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Would you like to describe it?
If I had a copy of it. Look at the hands coming.
I'm like, "Is that mine?"
I just so happen to have one right here. So, I wanted to make this as simple as possible for everybody out there, so they would understand it and not put it in too many complicated terms. So I put a grade stake at every 100 feet, starting from South Waterville Road, all the way down to the end of the turnaround. So there are 18 stakes down through there every 100 feet, and they're marked with a station number, 1, 2 plus 0, 3 plus 0, which is 200, 300, 400. Every place that we were going to do work or we did do work, I noted it on this scope of work. So somebody could drive down through there, for example, and they could see station 13 plus 00. We opened up the end of the culverts and ditch. 1575 to 1740, we cleaned the ditch. I went through and redid this all the way down through, so if anybody had any questions of what was being done or what had been done, it's right here, very simple. Then as far as the paving went, I tried to make it as clear as I could. We're gonna make the beginning of the road wider, and we're gonna match the width of the road all the way down through, whether it be 14, 16, 18, 12. We're not making the road bigger, we're not cutting trees, we're not taking anybody's land. Everything is gonna stay exactly like it is. Just be regraded and paved with 2.5 inches of base pavement. The road that goes down through, anybody that has a paved driveway, this road will be tied into their driveway, so there won't be a little gravel strip left. The only other thing that I had recommended was the extent of the damage that's done now comes from people that have gravel driveways on a hill, and their gravel washes down into the road and fills the ditches. Once this road is paved, they're gonna have to be responsible for cleaning that gravel and that mess up. We can't keep taking on that burden all the time. I mean, that's just my opinion. This is an ongoing battle, and if you drove through there right now, you'd see everything we did is almost half full again. So it's a tough thing. And basically that's it. That's pretty much the synopsis of this one page.
I know we talked about any water coming off
Their own properties.
DEP can get involved. I'm not sure if that actually passed on the state level to manage your own water coming off your property. Anybody know?
I'm not talking about managing water, I'm talking
Well,
about.
they would have to manage their water.
Right,
At the end of the road, that one house with no gutters is contributing to that erosion coming down.
Yes.
That's not gonna stop.
no, it isn't.
So, the owner is going to have to do something. So there should probably be a blurb, but if there's a state statute in regards to the DEP, that should probably go along with it.
I know I talked to Travis at DOT last week about it and asked him what their guidelines are if they have bad erosion from a private land onto a state road. And he said it depends on the severity of it. Said if it's real bad, they will go after the owner to help clean it up. If it's not, if it's minor, they take care of it. So that's kind of a catch there. There's nothing minor down there, that's the problem. Little rains, it's not an issue. But rains like we've been having, you've seen it, it's a big issue.
So I did put that out to Brad Warren, but I just haven't heard back from him yet. So he's gonna review the scope of work and give us any input he thinks we need, so.
When he calls back, can you ask him the question in regards to DEP with water coming off?
And the ground, like damaging the ground.
Well, just erosion, spoils coming onto the new pavement.
Yes, Morris, I'm sorry.
So you've done all this work, right, which has been done 3rd or 4th time now, about exactly the same thing that Brad's done, right? And you've got these 2 people or 3 people up there that don't sign, what's your course of action from there?
I suggested, and I talked to Brad about it, and maybe we should, while you're talking to Brad Warren, just let him know what we're thinking is pave in front of everybody's house that signed.
Which Brad Warren, I did ask for that.
And he
He
said,
said there's no issue with it.
okay, so we can do
You
that.
can't do that.
Why can't you do that, Morris? Well, why can't you do that?
Because you plow it in the winter time.
Yes, you can do it.
You can do it, yes, you can do it.
Okay,
When you plow it in the winter time.
Yeah.
You go off pavement, it's warm in the spring, right? You dig down the dirt, you're gonna dig it up, you go 50 feet, you back out of the dirt, up on the pavement again. You're gonna cover your hot tub, you're gonna cover everything with dirt.
I didn't say it was a perfect scenario, but
Why don't you just bite the bullet and pave it? Well, what's wrong with you guys just standing up and doing it? We've been going around this for 10 years now.
well, you're right. So
You know
you've been
what I
doing it
mean?
for 10 years, but you've been all over this board to do it. I'm personally not gonna sign my name to something that might get the town into a lawsuit. I'm not gonna do it. Any questions?
You spend more money on throwing money away on that stinking road. It's what it
We spent a lot of money on a lot of roads. that got thrown away.
All right.
No, I'm sorry.
That's all right, Morris, I know you're very
I'm
passionate,
very passionate about it.
I know you are, I know you
No,
are.
and this has gone on, you've got people here, this has gone on for 10 or 12 years now.
Yeah.
And we can't get that stinking road paid, and it just frustrates me that.
I know.
Somebody won't just take the bull by the horns and do it.
I know exactly, I know what your comment was a couple meetings ago, I get it.
I take the chance of getting sued, I would,
I,
because I know one of them is a tight, he squeaks, and he won't sue us. So I'll tell you that right now.
you've been around here a lot longer than I have, like.
So I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna tell you who it is.
You know something,
David, I'm not gonna tell you, but I'm just saying.
they have their right to disagree too.
Did he mention
You know, I mean,
something about
that's asinine to go
about
100 feet.
about
in the
paving
air.
on front?
Then we're not talking.
Hey, hold on, we got too many things going on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I just,
Oh, one conversation going. Are we done? All right, Brad,
did Brad say something to you about, anything about that, people that have already signed? How he
Yeah,
felt?
he said if you pave in front of people that's already signed, it'd be fine, and you left the other ones alone. Are you asking if we asked him about if we just paved it without the signatures?
We already know his answer on that.
Yeah, he won't
He's
say
not
yes
gonna give
or
it his
no.
blessing.
Did-
Do it, but his
did-
legal advice is.
okay, no, I'm sorry. Let me ask a question. We had, in one of our discussions, we had talked about bringing, I don't know which discussion was, about bringing these people in that haven't signed to have a Q&A session.
And one came in,
And,
Justin Proctor,
Yep.
last meeting.
And to that point, I think all the communication that had gone to him, nothing was like this.
yeah,
Right.
nothing was formalized, but we never put a formal invitation to the other folks. I don't know how many there are,
Everyone
2,
who didn't
6.
sign got it, except for Sheltra, because the mail kicked back and said there was no mail receptacle, so the letter got returned. But everyone got a letter. Everyone that had signed.
That's why he had come,
What's
right?
that?
He had your letter, that's
Yeah.
what prompted him to come last time.
May I ask a question? What happens if someone signs on this side of the road, but on the other side of the road, the person didn't sign?
Do we have that scenario, Brad?
No,
So, like you said.
no, and that would be a huge issue,
It would,
if two houses are
But
opposite each other.
but we don't have that scenario.
No.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
We do,
With all due respect, we have Mr.
All of
Proctor.
them, all of them. that-
Oh, Barker, yeah.
All of them that haven't signed, opposite them have signed.
Right.
There's three
Well, Raymond
people.
hasn't signed.
We're down to three people that haven't
If
signed.
it's on the other side of Raymond,
Is
they
Proctor
have
on?
signed.
Yeah,
I
he
just
hasn't
can't
signed
help but
it, right?
wonder if it makes sense to
He said
put
he
this
would
scope
sign.
of work out.
He said he would sign if we
Haven't
get a
signed.
scope of work.
I think it'd be a good idea to
Because
put
it's
it out
vague.
to everybody on the road.
Because it's vague what has been said.
Yeah, because it was very
It was
legalese.
vague, right.
It was all legalese. When that guy came here, he was, I didn't know what you guys were gonna do. And he seemed to, his demeanor went way down after that, and you guys went down and talked to him and everything else. That's what I'd like to see happen, send this out to them and say if they wanna come and talk to
Or to
us about the
everyone.
scope of work, please come.
You don't know this gentleman, so.
I know, I'm an optimist.
I think that
Due
was
diligence.
Lindsay's plan, but she hasn't heard back from your lawyer yet,
Or you guys.
or you guys, as to, is it okay to send out, don't send out a draft, send out what's agreed to by all of you.
Because then, I don't know who came up with this verbiage at the end. It said any owner that has not signed an easement, the scope of work may be excluded from paving at the front of their properties. Maybe.
That leaves it open, that if we decide to pave it, we pave it.
You don't live by policy, you must follow it.
We have not sent this to Brad for review yet.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
No, we have. How long
Yes.
have we had it?
Oh, he's had it for, since you brought it to me.
yeah, I brought it to you Thursday, so,
Thursday.
last Thursday.
Oh, last Thursday.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
2
it's a
days.
holiday weekend, maybe he's
How
out.
many of these guys are taking time to read the restricted review section?
Two work days for sure.
Yep.
Don't count yesterday, Monday.
How many of you gentlemen have taken the Rose manual, and looked up prescriptive use and read the article on prescriptive use? Yourself, you read it.
I could say I have not.
You gentlemen need to do that. You need to read the prescriptive use segment in the Rose manual. It's quite informative.
It's
And
in-
that's why I don't understand where your town attorney's coming, where he's coming from. I just don't understand that.
his thing, and I'm only just stating it because it was talked about before. He just said it hasn't been claimed in a court. The prescriptive use has not been claimed.
Right.
So you can take eminent domain and claim it.
Yeah. I think we both decided we didn't want to do that.
But you're not taking anyone's property. Technically, right?
Well, the way you
So-
just described it said, no, we were, at one point in time, we talked about widening the road, taking trees and all that, so.
But the rest of it,
That was Brad's idea to make it 24, right? over.
Yeah, I know there was just discussion.
Right, but no, now it's gonna be what
Just
fits
what is,
what's
is.
gonna be done, right? It's not gonna be taking more width out of there. It's what they're used to driving on town is what they're gonna have.
Yeah.
It's just it'll be paved.
I don't want to kick this down the road 10 years in a day, but let's just hear back from Brad and then go from there. I have one more opinion from him.
so it won't happen this year. This paving cycle, will it?
Well, I was gonna say, what's your drop dead date to start?
Well, I mean, I guess it depends on when the books are 100% closed. The money will have to be gone before then.
Oh, it's 22 money.
How much, Brad, how many linear feet
About, just shy of 2,000.
before the?
It goes right down to that private driveway, Dave. So it would go down a little hill and then stop right there.
And we have the funds, that's all set. Why can't we do that while we're working on the rest?
Because that's where Parker lives. He's get on that hill and stuff. He's the one that's squawking over.
No, he's talking about the first,
Oh, the first section, you're talking about the first section?
Yeah.
From South Level Road?
yeah.
Get the first section done. Let's work on the rest. And let's tie it in after.
That we do have a green light on. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Because they all sign.
Yep.
Mhm.
So
If they all sign, give them a courtesy of the scope of work. But
How many people that could?
How many? You say?
2, 3, 4.
2 houses before Joey's.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think Joey was, I think he was it's about 700 feet in, Joey was, so we'd be able to do about 500 feet. That's that double lot, right?
Yeah.
My Joey's?
Yes.
Yeah, so they didn't, right, they didn't sign, so we'd be able to do 500 feet. A third of it, not quite a third.
Because you shouldn't create a checkerboard, tattered gravel and all
Well, it'd be paved and it'd be all gravel.
that. Right,
That's a
right.
better
that
scenario.
works.
But my only fear about doing the paving, Dave, in blocks is that the pavement at the other end of the gravel is gonna get torn up. It will from the plow, first storm. When there's not frost in the ground, they go down in that gravel. As soon as they get to that pavement, it's gonna get peeled up. So that's the only bad scenario about doing it in blocks,
It's gonna change your water flow a little bit too.
so. But we certainly could do the first 500 wherever they didn't sign.
And that particular place, the property line is about 17 plus or minus a feet from the center of the road as it currently lies.
Yeah, it's a long
The
way.
easement says, and I'm reading the one we signed, that, yeah, it says,
Next line, page 07, land lies.
which land lies within 12 feet of the center line of Oscar Littlefield Road as it now exists and is now traveled. None of that property is within 12 feet of the center line.
Anywhere.
Except the first 3 properties, and that's where the road goes over their land.
Mhm.
They've signed the easement. I signed the easement, but it doesn't touch my land, so how could I give an easement to a property that I don't own? This is worthless.
But the other thing is that the individual that won't sign, that's the first one down there, he's not ever there.
No,
He doesn't live
he
there.
lives in Saco.
Okay.
And I talked to him 3 times, 6 or 7 years ago, when we tried to get a sense of the community.
And he just says, I'm not signing, I don't care, I'm not signing. I don't care what it is.
That's where the verbiage of prescriptive use comes in, big time. Because their properties are way off the center line. They have nothing to do with the road whatsoever. That's what's kind of puzzling.
Listen, this is why we have town council. You know, I mean, you asphalt all the way down. Somebody comes
Do you
down,
think he's representing you well in this position?
He's been representing us a long time, and we haven't come to resolution, so.
I know, but
Morris, all I'm saying, okay, is that we don't have a green light for somebody that we are paying to represent us. Okay? Nobody is a lawyer here. Nobody's a lawyer there. God forbid we pave, somebody comes down, whatever, and they get hit by a car, and they claim the reason why they got hit by a car is because now it's asphalt. Whatever. It's not an improbable scenario.
It's not, David. But somewhere along the way, the town attorney should stand up and say, you know, I represent you and win this case. And I wish you'd read the prescriptive use.
I get it, but the
No, you don't,
lawyer,
because you haven't read prescriptive use. You need to read the prescriptive use and what he says.
that's
We've been
still,
following that road since 1952.
and the lawyer knows that.
Yeah, well, he hasn't done a very good job representing us, Dan.
Well, I wouldn't overrule him.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, no.
David, I'm
What if
sorry.
we would take your suggestion and start paving?
I think we should-
Research prescriptive use, see if we can get a little bit more and then keep on going. How, it's gonna take you a little while to mobilize, right?
Well, yeah, because I'm at their mercy, obviously, but the quicker we can, even 500 feet is better than nothing. It's a start in the right direction. And it might spark somebody's interest to say, wow, look at this road. And then boom, now they're on gravel. I don't know.
That was my thought.
It might just trigger.
I'm sorry, could you say that again, Morris?
I think it's a good thought. I think it's a good thought. No, I do.
I just wanted to hear it.
Hey. Yeah. It's progress, and I think, it's good.
Is there any way we can bevel that down? So when the plow comes back up over, we can lip it, or, you know what I'm trying to
I
say?
do. Yeah, they can roll it. They can roll it down to zero. Of course they can. Yeah.
Yeah, and it might have.
It becomes thin, it'll break after a bit. But
Right,
Well,
but
yeah,
but I'm
yeah.
saying maybe not make it any thinner. Keep it the same thickness and roll it down. So you got a lip that goes up.
oh yeah, well, that can be done.
And then it's the same, the snow fighters, whatever.
Dayton, yeah.
Well, I'll just have to talk to them and, I know they can't see everything at night, but just let them know if we don't go any further, this year, that this is just a little.
I would bring Paul right over there and show him.
Yeah.
So I've done that last year in a couple of different places.
Well, hold on. If you're gonna start a project, what do you wanna do with the scope of work? Do you wanna send what's in front of you to the homeowners, or did you wanna still wait for Brad's review?
Well, we have all the signatures that we need for the first 500 feet.
Then
I think this should go out anyway as a courtesy.
should we maybe change the scope review to just basically state we're just doing the first 500 feet?
We'll have a decision, Lindsay, from the attorney long before we can get that paved.
Okay.
Just to let you know. It won't happen overnight,
Yeah.
Did I hear you say something about pursuing prescriptive use for this?
I'm gonna educate myself on it, and we need to educate ourselves per Morris's suggestion, so.
It's in the MDOT manual, right on their website.
We get it right here in the office.
Yeah. So that's what we do.
What, 3 lawsuits?
With prescriptive use, Janet Mills actually wrote them. So there are 3 cases that went prescriptive use. Kennybunk, Goose Rocks, there's 3 I just found. So,
Morris, wasn't Frost prescriptive use? Do you remember?
No, I don't think so.
No, okay.
Can I ask what Michelle said? I couldn't quite hear it.
just Googling really quick,
Yeah.
there are actually 3 prescriptive use lawsuits that I found with rulings and stuff. I'm not gonna say any more than that, everyone can do their own research. I did find 3, so it has gone to
So it's
Okay.
been disputed.
Janet Mills has actually ruled on them when she was, so, or
So
Mills
we're on the
anyway.
way to
So there
Superior
are some to
Court.
research and look and see what happened. There was Kenny Bunk and Goose Rocks and a few others, so,
Okay, thank you.
welcome.
Somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to proceed with paving for the first 500 feet, or as far as the road commissioner deems it
As far as we
acceptable.
can for signatures.
Yes.
Do you want to add in sending this
Um,
to those landowners?
Yes, also to send out the scope of work and to continue to get signatures from the three that have not signed yet.
There's one, Lindsay, you said that keeps getting bounced back to you.
Yeah, shelters. Jill,
Do you know where they are? Al?
I think it's the Airbnb.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to track her down.
Yeah.
Sometimes she comes in after somebody's been there for the weekend. And I'll try to take note of when that's there and go and talk to her.
Can I ask one more question? By paving that top half of the top part of that hill,
Wait a minute. Well, we have a motion. I don't want to get messed up here.
okay,
Let's go second, then we'll go discussion.
okay. Okay, I'll second if we can go to discussion.
Okay, let's go to discussion. Any discussion?
I have
Oh,
a
your
question.
question. Okay, go ahead.
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
I guess the only question I got, and I don't know, if we pave the top of that hill, is that gonna significantly impact erosion on the rest of it?
Not a bit, because
Okay,
the road's crowned, John. It
Okay.
sheds both sides now.
are we doing a standard crown on that, or?
2.5%, whatever they can get. You know, it's not gonna be huge.
It'd be
'Cause I
nice,
can't really change, can't change the profile. If some drains to the right now,
yeah.
you kind of have to kind of keep the
Kinda have
watershed
to keep
exactly
it
like
there.
it's going. You know, we can't just arbitrarily dump it all to one side or dump it to the other side, I don't know.
The pavers will have to be made aware of that, right?
What's that?
The pavers will
Oh,
have
they
to be
will.
made aware
Oh,
of
yeah,
that
I'll go
area.
over all that.
Okay, I'm all set now, thank you.
Okay, any more discussion? All in favor of, say,
The motion.
the motion? To end this drought of 10 years. Passed.
Thank you for the progress.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Ellie.
I know
Okay,
that doesn't help your end,
It's better.
but it's coming.
Yes.
Step at a time.
Me, I do the checkerboard, but that was during the discussion.
you can't get everything. Okay, ordinance review committee. Read a bunch of stuff beforehand, and in your packet, we have a request and an email from Michelle that the board approve her resignation of her application officially. That was back in 11/18/21.
I make a motion we accept Michelle's resignation from ordinance review committee.
I'll second that.
Discussion? All in favor? Okay. I guess I would like to see us do the same thing for Amber, because Amber was under the same
Yes.
situation.
I will make a motion that we accept the resignation of Amber Sweat from the ordinance review committee.
I'll second that.
Discussion? All in favor? Okay. Okay, now, we have people that have applied or are interested in the ordinance review committee, and we still have been trying to get hold of the Schatz to get sworn in. We've had two people from the planning board, which was a curveball to me today, or this weekend. think Dawn wrote a little note.
Yeah, Don's note just suggested that if there's sufficient qualified candidates, he would be pleased to serve as a non-voting member to coordinate with the planning board. So,
All right. I'm just gonna bring my own comments out first, and then we can go from there. The last meeting, we had talked about having diverse representation from the town. I don't want to put Dawn and Bill in that category, since they want to be kind of like liaisons between us, between the planning board and the ordinance review committee, so the other ones. So we haven't really had any besides those two. Is it still out there?
Steve Morella is a new one.
Okay,
He spoke on the phone a couple weeks ago back when this started, and he said he was interested.
okay.
I've got Dulong, I have two of them, right? Adrian and Brian.
Yep.
And Rancourt said he was interested. I think I gave you a little list.
Yeah, you did. I'm just looking at something else.
what I'm not clear on is how many positions, how many seats are on that committee.
I didn't find.
There's
anything
nothing in the charter.
It was- when it was mentioned back then, they were going to seat 5 to 7.
That's what I remember.
Yeah,
5 to
that was, this is back 2021.
Okay.
When we first applied.
I got another question. When you, were you saying that anybody from the planning board will be a non-voting member for consultation?
This is just kind of thrown today, kind of was thrown with Dawn. I'm not gonna make any policy on that right now, but
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
it's kind of Dawn's recommendation.
Yeah, I'd like to see them there for technical stuff too
It's
myself.
not a bad idea. So we have, just like to see somebody from, we've got 3 from the Wadley Pond area, and I don't know where Murphy's Way is.
We're on
Here,
35.
Off of 35,
Off
just up here,
35.
Okay.
just past the subdivision on the right.
This subdivision, so we put the in there.
It's up for discussion.
I understand your thoughts on diverse other ends of town, and that's come up over the years on a lot of stuff. Well, all the selectmen are from here,
Mhm.
we got no official policy, we've never done anything about it. That really wasn't much of a contribution, was it? Other than the fact that we don't have any precedent to require it now.
No. We're just trying to,
I think getting to that point is a valid.
At some point, yeah.
we got to paving Oscar Littlefield tonight. Yeah. And we can vote on it tonight and keep on looking? Or what?
Yeah, I mean, it's up to you guys what you want to do with it. It just kind of started because we didn't know who was out there, who was interested. We didn't know who was on the committee. And so, I've just been trying to pull together information to clarify what's in front of us. You also, I think, have to stagger the positions. In your charter, it says committees have to be staggered. So if you do vote and approve people, you might have to, approve someone for a year, approve someone for 2 years. So you kind of keep a stagger going.
That's a good point too.
So we really need a process.
We've been, 6 months to get this far, right? How long has it been?
Longer than that.
Yeah, it's been a while.
John,
Yes, sir.
underneath the old items review, the code enforcement was a member of that committee. I
Good point.
mean, she was a voting member.
Well, our code enforcement officer isn't a resident of Lyman, so in your charter, I think you have to be a registered voter of Lyman. She wouldn't be able, I mean, she could probably sit in on the meetings and, you know, be a liaison, but
Yeah.
I would leave it up to Brenda. She's probably got a lot on her plate right now, getting adjusted.
How would you correct it so she could be a voting member, Lisa?
What's that?
How would you correct that so she could be a voting member? Because she always voted,
Change your charter.
she always voted when we were doing it before.
Yeah.
But she was a voting
With
member.
With Patty, you mean?
Yeah, with Patty, yeah.
She doesn't live in Lyme.
Yeah, she wasn't a
She
resident.
wasn't supposed to vote.
She didn't live in Lyme.
Right,
She was a
charter.
voting member.
Right,
Did
that's
the
right.
chief be on it too? Were you asked about, or was that another committee?
I was at
That
one
was
point, I
staff
expressed
review.
interest, but then didn't hear anything further.
And why would you, if you appoint Donna like that, why would you make him a voting member? I mean,
It was his suggestion.
Oh, yeah, but why would you make him a voting member?
Mhm.
He's got good suggestions, everyone will vote on him.
His suggestion.
I don't see that anybody didn't vote.
Took care of Michelle and Amber. What else you guys want to do?
And another question, Tom, have you got anything for the audit review to do right off?
Excuse me?
Have you got anything for the audit review committee to do right off?
Not that I know of, but
Okay,
I haven't.
I think the bigger thing is, a good point, is the staggering. How long is the committee actually for?
It's supposed to be ongoing, every 4.5 years, Pauline's supposed to send you guys a letter of the ordinances that need to be reviewed, which she said she did do back in July, pre-July 2021, because that's when Amber and I
So-
first applied.
So but it's supposed to be done every 5 years, is that more of an ad hoc committee?
No, it's a
No,
Standing
it's ongoing.
committee because some would need to be reviewed,
You wanna give them
So
five?
like,
depending on when they were.
5-year terms?
on your
No.
website, there are, under ordinances, there are ordinance up there from like the sixties.
Right.
So I think the clerk just has to notify the ordinance review, like, here's one that is coming up for review, it's, that one's more than 5 years.
Right now, it's all of them,
Right.
Yeah.
because it's been that long since there's been a committee.
And the review might simply be, this is.
You're like dog licensing, it's not gonna be,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just look at it the same and,
Could we take a look at like Parsons Field or Alfred or Waterboro, what they do? Kind of get an idea from another.
they, I know Parsonsfield doesn't have a committee, it's up to.
not all towns have one.
actually, but I guess like,
I mean, to me, it's pretty basic. You have it in your charter that the select board appoints this committee. So you guys, what I see is you have several applicants in front of you. You just look at them and say, do you want to put them on the committee or not? You know,
For a 3-year term. So a one, right, it's sort of like what we do with select, a 1 year,
Yeah, well,
or so that it staggers. How do you
That's
so-
just
is
so
there
you hire
any
staff.
reason after we appoint them, we can't put all their names in the hat? Whatever numbers and figure out, and let them draw. I mean, there's nothing saying we can't do that.
I don't even know that we need to do that, because I think that happens on its own. So for example, hiring committee, we all were appointed at the same time, and then 2 of us are no longer. So now any new members will stagger with the old.
we pretty much
I
have
think at a
no-
certain point,
We have no ordinance committee right now, so if you appointed 5 people today, their term ends at the same time.
Right.
So,
and you either reappoint or people.
And if you go up to possibly having 7, you have 2 more that might come on in a year.
right.
If you still opt to have 2 more people come in and make it 7. For different areas of town that might pop their head up to say, hey, I like to do that.
So is the general consensus, the length of term, or setting up the length of term right off, not really that important, given the discussion?
Doesn't seem it.
No, that's what, does it make, how dug in are we on the geographic location? We got,
I don't think we can because we don't have a process or a policy saying that that's
right,
how we select.
that's.
No,
my
it was just a
position on
discussion.
Yeah, I think we could eventually get there. I think that's
Yeah.
not, I think that's absolutely worth it.
It's not like you have 30 applicants knocking on the door
Right.
either.
that. Right,
Someday we have words.
I mean, the scope of work was pretty obvious listening that we've got ordinance that haven't been reviewed in a number of years. I guess my concept of it would be one of the things, nice things of having Don involved. You'd say, hey, Don, what ordinances have you guys found problematic over the last 5 years?
You're working on them now.
Yeah, and we're supposed to reword one of those tonight to get it on the ballot. That's what I was gonna bring up. That didn't make the agenda.
Is that the one we didn't
Yeah,
make a right motion?
yeah, we gotta make sure we do that tonight or it won't make the ballot. I don't know why it didn't get on the agenda.
That was in the package.
It is in there. It's just not, it's Article 3.
All right, I didn't see it on the agenda.
No, it doesn't say that.
I think-
Okay, all right, I stand corrected.
Oh,
Thank
wait.
you.
I'm like, I thought I read that.
I like being wrong once in a while.
I don't want to be 4 hours again tonight. Do we want to,
Well, I'll make it quick. I nominate everybody on the list.
This is everyone under interested?
Yeah, under the interested applied. You got 1, 2, 3, 4,
There should be 6.
6. All right, you want to do, all right, yeah, Bill Single and Don Hearn, 6. Then you got Lee Schatz, it hasn't been sworn in yet. We assuming he's gonna be, that would give you your 7.
I'll second that.
discussion? All in favor?
I was like, do you want discussion? I'll discuss. If you want to discuss, like.
So that's a no vote.
All right,
Could I ask for a reason why we're stalling again, please?
Would you like to know my reason?
I bet it's the same as mine, but different people. And I was willing to
Well, can you
roll the dice.
go one by one?
Yeah, what about the people who, I think there's people interested in there that,
You and I both got the same issues with different people. I just figured a group of people, they're gonna do the process and they're gonna work it out. And there's not a majority of either one of them.
Would you like to make another motion to vote on one at a time?
can we do that now?
just go down the list one at a time. Name.
I do not want to get
I know.
in a situation we're about to come up to,
Yeah.
okay? Okay, so we're legal.
Where does it stand? So you don't want to nominate any of these people?
No, they want to do it one by one, right?
Okay.
Is that what you guys, or not? Or you want to leave it as is? What do you want to do? You guys are,
Well, let's finish the vote. 2-4-2 again, you guys didn't vote.
No, right, so you were nay?
Yeah, you and A. So, okay, this is dead. You can do anything you want.
Okay.
There was no win inside.
okay. New motion by anybody? I don't want to be here till 10 o'clock again tonight, guys. Okay, we're leaving it as is. Moving
Could I
on.
ask one more question? What's it gonna take to move this thing forward?
The names drop off the list.
I didn't ask that.
That was just a.
I'm ignoring it.
Yeah. I don't think that really needs to be discussed. I know my reasons, and one of them is the diversification. I know it's not an ordinance, and I know it's not, I just think it would be a little bit more open to suggestions and, over in our area, or this is, once again, I'm the new guy.
No, no.
Oh, that's right.
for clarification, just because I'll have to reach out to applicants, are you denying, like, if we're moving forward, does this list these applicants, are they still hanging out there? Or do I tell them, we've denied your application?
Now, there's a report that's gotta go with the denial, right?
Yeah, like a reason why.
Yeah, you guys gotta put all that
To
together.
me, it just seems like it's kind of still hanging out there, and
Yeah.
maybe it'll.
That's
need
in
to
your,
be
in
revisited.
your policy and what you send us with the minutes all the time.
I just want clarification, that's all I'm asking for. So I know what I'm doing tomorrow when I come into the office.
I just want to say this really quick, and I know it's gonna come back, but discrimination is a crappy thing, whether we like someone or not. And I'm just leaving it there.
Mhm.
There's people that don't like me, don't want me on board. My thought process is if someone isn't working out on the board, you have the power to remove them. Just because they were a rotten apple once doesn't mean they stay that way. People hopefully can change, rose-colored glasses. Try to look on the bright side of things. We do have some other good candidates. I'd hate to see them be tossed into the
I agree.
dirty water. So maybe voting them one at a time is not a bad idea. Just done, sorry.
I'm done
What
making
happens if you don't
motions.
get any more applicants for your diverse?
What's gonna happen?
Kind of like, what if a road is being bid on and there's only one bidder and we decide that we want 3 bids before we can go ahead with the project? Nothing will ever get done in this town. Both ways.
Well, I think there was a suggestion way back when, and this is just history here, about you had a suggestion to have the planning board doing the ordinances.
Planning board
And that's
is
what
doing
they're
them
doing
now,
now.
so it's not like
Or try to
we're
revise the policy.
underrepresented.
I understand,
So it'd have to be
but it was
amended
brought
from
up
the charter.
back then.
I don't think it has anything to do with prejudice,
Not prejudice, discrimination, just like,
discrimination.
like the Facebook thing, that was a discriminatory things, people's personal opinions about things. We all have personal opinions that we don't want people hearing in our own head. So, I'm just saying, you guys have the power to remove if they're not working out. You have that power, you are. And you also have to approve what they're putting before you from that committee, it goes to you. So you really have the final eyes and say on it.
The rest of the committee comes to us and says, oh my God, this guy's a pain in the neck, he's gotta go, we can do that. And at that point, I would, if I'm still here, if I'm not recalled, I would wholeheartedly agree to do it.
We all have our votes.
We can agree to disagree. No new motions? Okay, gonna move on. Town-owned properties.
I'm just still uncertain, so tomorrow, am I notifying these folks? We'll be doing.
And who's gonna write the report?
Yeah, we have to know that.
Huh?
I mean,
You need that declared.
Well, according to all the stuff and the personnel stuff, if somebody wants to be on a committee, we gotta write them a reason why we don't want them.
I'll do that.
Then that's gotta be voted on, right?
I see this as unfinished business personally.
yeah, we can
Before
table
we
it
could
to another
Go
meeting.
through, because I don't want to just lump that all, I don't
Yeah.
feel personally comfortable lumping that all into one
Good point.
thing. I don't want to just say to somebody, hey, we just voted you down.
Yeah, I'm not suggesting that, I need clarification so I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
it just
All right,
wasn't.
put it as
I think it's
unfinished
still
business and
So
we'll,
basically tabled. till
Tabled.
another meeting.
Yep.
Okay.
okay, great. Town-owned properties. This is the selling of property.
Yeah,
It's this packet, right?
Yeah.
Because I think
Oh, my
last
God.
time I said, this is too much for me to look at tonight. I don't want to talk about it
did
yet.
not get rid of your packet, I gave you, so you didn't.
You bought it,
You
Lindsay.
did.
But I think to that point, I looked at all this and I just had some more questions and I don't know even if we have a way of getting these answers, but so this is town-owned tax acquired maybe I just answered my own question, I'm sorry.
One
So
thing that
Little
do we
late
know
at night,
how
were
we, do we know how we own it? And these, so these are all tax acquired.
Do you know how you own it is a good question, because it could be tax acquired by lien, or, we have had unknown owners. And so in the history of, it was brought to my attention, if you have unknown owners, you need to really do like a survey and kind of check that it, on paper, it might say, oh, there's a lot out there, but there have been circumstances where sometimes the land doesn't even exist because there's an unknown owner. So we
Okay.
do have to figure out what's an unknown owner, what was, tax acquired by lien, that we have recorded discharges, which we do have some. I think Jeanette brought me like, I wanna say like 6 or 7 that we have on our file that are recorded discharges or liens or whatever.
Okay.
So would it be worthwhile coming to start a list of
So-
ones that are clear to?
I'm just wondering if on
We're gonna
this,
write an ordinance to get on the ballot. before
What?
we-
No,
Before
because
we even do that.
you
if-
have
I think we're
from
ready.
your town meeting, you always voted, just, will the town allow the select board to sell tax acquired
No,
property?
what I'm talking about is, remember the tax, we're gonna do, sell a piece of property. Yeah, right? For the, I'm sorry to fill everybody else in, to put towards the cemetery committee.
Right.
If we're gonna do anything like that, we gotta write an ordinance tonight to have,
Well, no, because what we talked about is
we're talking about
money
taking
out
that
of
from surplus.
And we don't have to write in wording
we
that
gotta write
says.
that ordinance.
We
It's
did.
in
It is.
there.
Oh,
It's
it
on
is,
the
We
okay.
did that. This to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, everyone, but this to me isn't trying to get to November, this
No.
conversation.
No.
Okay,
No.
good.
This is just the future.
So what I'm thinking in my head is this spreadsheet, whether it's a database, a spreadsheet, or whatever it is. So how we acquired it, right? Like we just talked about. How long has the town had it?
So I'll have
Is
to
that-
look, I wanna say there's probably like 8 recorded liens from that list that we have. You
Okay.
would need to probably hire an attorney or help Brad or somebody look at the other ones to do deed searches.
Okay, that's
I
it.
yeah.
I don't wanna like spend a ton of money to try to figure that out. It's just, so these are just my questions as I looked at this. So if that's like a lot, then I don't wanna
My
necessarily do that.
suggestion would be to take the low hanging fruit, the ones you got clear title on,
That's what
the
I'm saying.
ones that are easy. And
Start
do
with
that.
everyone.
And even before that, I think we have to identify what could benefit the town.
yeah, we ought to get eyeballs on it.
Well, the zoning type for each was another question that I
Um,
had, right? Is it general use? Is it residential? Is it
The
commercial?
criteria we used when we did it last time was smaller than buildable lots.
Right, and I think there's only,
So your ordinance
Yeah,
should
but
have.
I'm sorry.
Well, when you're talking about like a back lot or something like that, your ordinance should have, non-conforming vacant lots, so basically if you have a lot that was created a long time ago and it doesn't meet your current ordinances, there's usually like non-conforming wording in your ordinances, so that helps people when they're buying land, that they can still build on it under different rules.
There should be pretty good documentation on this, on what we did before. And to your point about researching them, we had one we actually sold that we didn't own. We had to give people some money back.
Yeah, you wanna do some research on,
Yeah.
for things that are not certain.
Well, we
Like, I
did that.
agree.
Well, good.
One thing to consider is some of the first pieces that you should look to sell would be any land that's landlocked.
right.
Because that's only good for a certain amount of people out of it.
Yep.
That's all it can be good for. So it's not like that piece of property wants to go to a real estate agent and say, well, geez, I think we should get 65,000 for this.
Mhm.
Landlocked land, as we did before, John, went relatively inexpensive to get it off of our books.
Yeah, and the
And then
other,
we're gaining some tax money from it.
Yeah.
For good.
Yeah.
But it only benefits the landowners that abut it. That's it. Can't be sold to anybody else.
and the other side of that though is we have some fairly valuable land. I mean, if part of our purpose of doing all of this is to fund something, we ought to be looking at a couple of those easy to define, more expensive pieces. So I mean, we're gonna end up, your field trip thing wasn't a bad, or maybe we independently, we try to refresh our memory and, oh geez, you know, that one over there looks really good. You know, and
I can think of 2 or 3 right off, John.
Well, and I
the one off
can take,
Stagecoach Road's amazing.
Well, Grasshopper, we own
Yeah.
2 lots in Grasshopper.
Yeah,
Would you,
There's
since
three,
this
there's
was
a
your
chunk of
idea,
money,
you
but it's
want to
really
lead
nice
this
lots.
charge to organize it?
I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Well, I think that's where I kind of started, was we need some type of, what she's saying is that you need to look at valuable land, what's clear, what's good that we could do something with, and what needs a lot of research. That would go down to the bottom, which would cost a lot of money.
I mean, take what Jeanette gave you, probably update your
Yeah,
map.
everything is a good
Yeah,
point.
you're only gonna get quick claims deed, but everyone should be living it, so you're gonna spend a whole lot of time doing research on
The
it.
most important thing that we can do is not to sell the property that the town will benefit
Right.
from 10, 15, 20 years.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's the property I want to identify.
Yeah, and that's.
Once we identify that, everything else will fall into place.
Yes, and I know your time, you're busy and hell, but if you get over, oh God, what's the road Hisson's on, Brad?
Old Kenny
Okay.
Bunk.
Old Kennybunk Road. You get down there, there's a piece of property we own with a small cemetery on it.
The
Quite,
Red Pine Plantation.
yeah, quite a few years ago, the former fire chief said, at some point, that's more the center of town and the fire station or something. Are you familiar with that? Have I got that conversation wrong,
No,
man?
you're right, you're right.
Okay, Kenny Road being the center of town?
I don't know why, center of Pont, I don't know why, or a substation over there or something.
Substation,
Okay.
actually,
Yeah, substation.
Okay.
to increase the response time to that end of town. But decrease the response time.
I'm sorry.
no, I just want to keep this going.
Yeah, no, I can be done.
I
We're not
would
gonna decide anything
recommend-
tonight.
I would put on, I can update the maps, like, so what we have liens for, that we've, we've confirmed town owns this.
Mhm.
So I could update the map, you'll see kind of, okay, this one's confirmed, it'll give you an idea, is it the back lot, is it over here? And then the rest of the stuff, we'll have to probably do some research on it before you can decide to sell it.
Does the town have an actual cemetery that is owned by the town?
No, that's why I was so excited about this one over here. We did a lot of research, or I did at one point. As I understand it, it's much easier to expand a cemetery than start one.
Well, that's, when you said that it had a small cemetery on it.
And not only that, soon as you see the piece, you're gonna drool, because it's sandy flat. You know,
Easy digging.
easy digging, well drained, all of the stuff, no rocks, no water. Yeah, easy. You know, so to me, if there's gonna be any expansion of town stuff, that's one we definitely should keep, and I think we ought to look at it just to establish that.
Well, you're gonna be out by there, we're gonna have to go out there and look at that old, by this old Kennebunk Road, right?
Yep.
We had a picture in there of a cemetery, and one of it's the same one.
You know,
It's just a small one, it's maybe like 10 stones in there.
okay, now that's the other end.
So what?
Actually, ironically, that's the road with the 2 gates on Old Kennybunk Road. This is this
Right.
side of the gate.
So we can agree that we're going to basically research the land that is most valuable for the town to actually keep.
Yeah,
Maybe not the dollar value, but the logistics.
potential.
Brian?
What do you mean 10 or 15 years from now?
What do you mean, what do I mean about 10 or 15 years from now? To project, the need. Do you think that there would be a need for something 10 or 15 years from now?
To hold land that would be more valuable in 10 or 15 years, is that what you mean?
No, meaning there might be a good location for a substation for the fire, or a cemetery, or fill in blank.
Necessary as in use.
Use.
Yeah.
DPW.
And going after ones that are landlocked, that's all part of a good plan that we can. All right,
I'm sorry.
where are we going with this? Is somebody gonna lead this charge?
Yeah.
You know?
Who the hell knows?
You gonna lead this charge?
Dun, dun,
What
dun.
was your idea?
Yeah, I'm full of ideas.
I'm just asking.
Yeah.
You don't need to do it all by yourself.
Oh, no.
Plan a field trip and we'll go, bunch of us go.
All right.
Okay, good.
Maybe one or two of the cookies.
All right.
Is that a vote?
Do we have to vote that in? Somebody vote it.
I make a motion for Dave to take the lead on town-owned property research.
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
You all
No.
bring
Dave, are you in
cookies now.
favor?
No, I'm in.
What's that?
Everyone bring them cookies now.
Yeah, bring cookies now,
Cookies
yeah.
and sandwiches for the
Yes,
field
I'm in
trip.
favor.
Okay, staff review committee, a discussion and next steps. I just want to give you my input. I talked with Lindsay and she looked up stuff on this committee.
Yeah.
And John, the way she described it, there really isn't, it's only a couple different things that this committee would look at from a planning board perspective. And to have a member of the select board be a appointed member, and if that was against, say it was me, and the whole issue was about me, that wouldn't be a good place to be. So having it fluid, so we could pick somebody or even have rotation or something is,
Yeah, makes
I think it's,
And we just had a good case in point there. Let's say somebody in the town requested a staff review committee, and for one reason or other, they wouldn't want one of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, I agree.
you know,
So
so I
you're
think
saying
we should just
with-
leave it
oh,
with
perfect.
the people that,
So until it arises.
until it arises.
It says in the ordinance that they just meet as needed.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Bunking Up Ball Field, approval for invoice payment. Did you, this one still shows estimate. Did they ever,
No, no, that's what
The paperwork's not corrected. And we didn't talk about the whole scenario.
not yet?
I asked Jeanette, Jeanette and I talked about that. She thought there might be some modification on this, on what we were gonna be charged for the work. Whether they were just gonna do parts or do parts and labor, whatever.
I think it was always just parts. There was no.
Okay, all right,
There's no charge for labor on the
okay.
estimate.
The only issue I got with it, there would have been an easy way to do that. As soon as you guys found out, would have been, 3 phone calls. Hey, what do you think? We've got a consensus. And the other troubling part I got of that was, did you know where you could take the money from?
I'll tell you my conversation. My conversation went like this: wow, there's no water in there. They walked me all the way down, showed me the route they would take.
Yeah.
He says, I have the PVC.
Yeah.
He says, I'll do it for nothing. He says, I'm gonna do it with or without your permission, because it's gonna ruin the field. And the field won't be good for probably another 3 years. I said, I can't give you the okay. I am one of 5.
Okay.
I
That's
said,
a perfect scenario.
I said, I will, obviously bring it to the board as, it was a nice gesture.
Yeah, that was a perfect
Then
scenario.
I found out Rusty also went down. And he said the same thing to Rusty.
Yeah.
I just assumed that everybody knew.
No.
So I
At that
knew
moment.
via an email that said, hey, there's a problem.
Yep.
Hey, there's no water. Hey, and I know, I'm
Did I
dealing
send
with the
that
same.
email?
No, I think KCB sent it to all of us.
Yeah.
There was an email that went to everybody, said, hey, there's a problem. But there was never
Yeah.
any actual,
The good news is we got that revolving account left over from the wood cutting.
I think there's money in
The
the
money is
bugging.
not.
I think the money is in
I
the
think it's just-
bugging out account.
process.
Yeah,
I think there's money in the bugging out
Yeah,
account.
Jeanette did verify you have one member.
yeah. And I,
In the bungalow.
Rusty spoke,
What
I knew
bungalow?
about this also. Because, and I knew that Single said, we're doing it, we'll figure it out afterwards. Now, I also did a little, I talked to Jeanette and I said, I remember something about, I said at the last meeting, something about emergent situation. And she gave me purchasing, except in matters pertaining to normal road maintenance, or an emergency situation is determined by the Board of Selectmen. She said, if it's an emergent situation, we can do it.
But I'm
Okay.
just saying, what I'm saying is, you have the money in the revolving bunganut account.
Yep.
To pay for it.
Yep.
And I don't know how that mention ties in with roads. And-
No, it's on a purchasing and sales procedures, is the title, 807.
And I don't know how it's an emergency.
We were in a drought
Lose the
and
field.
we were gonna lose the field.
And I deal with that in my own job. with
So-
baseball field. I'm not.
I think it was justified, and I think they're being nice and said, and if we have the money, I just think we should not pay it on an estimate. It should be an invoice.
Right, should be an invoice, and we've got a revolving account we can take it out of.
I'm not opposed to paying for work performed. I'm not opposed to this being an emergency. I'm opposed to people proceeding with work without authorization from the board. That's my concern about it.
I guess it's a debatable thing if it was approved by the board, not when 3 people did know about it. It wasn't a vote per se, because we can't get together.
Did anybody say yes, do this?
No, not really. But
So
we
then
were
that's
taking
not-
his recommendation that if we didn't do it, we're looking 3 years down the road.
But
And the
that's-
fire department came and how many gallons did you guys dump?
At least 1,000.
1,000
But
gallons.
my point is, nobody said yes, do this.
Right.
Well,
I can't speak for Rusty.
Yeah.
I don't know if he.
and that's Rusty's thing, so
And that only would have been one. That's not
I
enough.
don't really want to get into procedures. So we pay.
Procedures are a big part of what we do.
I understand that, and I looked it up, and I talked to Jeanette, and I thought we were, because there was 3 of us that knew about it.
5 of us knew about it.
I
There
think
was
we
no-
all agree that there should be a procedure, one, that we shouldn't have people just doing work and expecting payment after the fact. But he did contact me. He did contact Rusty. We probably should have had more conversation, obviously, you know,
Yeah,
but
he contacted all of us via email. I have an email. I knew about it. I'm not
So-
discounting that we didn't know.
Okay. All right, so I think we're all in agreement that there needs to be a better process. I guess the question is here, are we gonna pay the invoice if they give us the invoice?
well, you gotta wait until we get the invoice. I thought
I'm not-
that was already done.
Yeah, I thought it was too. So we're gonna kick it down the road till the next week, till we get something.
So I'll ask him for an invoice then. I'll say this is an estimate, we need an invoice.
As a point of procedure, maybe just writing a letter to the vendor and saying in the future, you know, please make sure you have authorization from the member,
Mhm.
but pay him first time. I mean, this is just me, but just
Oh.
in the future, you know, please make sure you have permission to go forward. We understand you're anxious and appreciate the help, but, you know, he shouldn't be doing it at his own expense either. I think that was a generous thing to do, but just a cautionary thing, you need permission, just so your butts are covered for anything that comes up in the future.
Agreed.
Just a thought.
Can you have something up like that, please? All right. No motions need to be done on that? Okay. Next, treasurer's expense summary report. Everybody's seen that? It's been posted on the bulletin board or
On the website.
on the website? Okay. Anybody see any problems? This isn't one that we vote on, is it?
No.
Okay. Any more discussion?
I see a roads issue.
Roads? Never mind, moving along. Number 4 hours. Okay. Special town referendum, vote and approval orders. That's here. Okay.
Well,
Hmm?
so we'll, remember the note.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let's go. The note. Is that in here?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's in the packet.
Okay.
Not with the signed.
No.
Those are signatures.
This one.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Okay. Amendments to Article 3 and 4. Sorry. Okay. Due to some typographical errors on the orders for Article 3 and Article 4, the Select Board will need to rescind their votes on Article 3 and Article 4 made on August 22nd, 2022, and motion to approve the revised orders. See message from Planning Board regarding typographical corrections and clarifications.
I'm sorry, I can't find the
It's A in the purple section.
A in purple. I'm in
Look up top here.
Turn to the purple section.
I gotta find the purple section. Oh, this purple section. All right, thank you. Past my bedtime already.
So I would be remiss to not say what I talked to you about earlier, that there were a couple of people that approached me, and then one called tonight, the 11th hour, and had checked with a Robert's Rules expert, and said that last meeting's vote, albeit that it was convoluted, they reviewed the video and said we had voted it down, this article, right? So I don't know if anybody agrees with that here. I know it was confusing, but.
I have to watch it again. I know I mixed things up for that for sure. I'll pull my card.
So you're saying it's a dead issue?
Well, if there's still questions, I was thinking about tonight, that just like a football game, let's go to the video, let's have a ref review it. And this person who's an expert on Robert's Rules, look at it and give us an opinion. Happens to be a lawyer.
Well, I mean, all you gotta do is just rescind, you gotta rescind them anyways.
Yeah.
And then there's new ones in front of you. So you
Yeah,
can do
just
them.
let's rescind them and deal with the new ones. That's what I thought you said there.
Yeah, well, I just want to, we work for the townspeople.
Well, I'm just trying to understand.
He gave me a whole bunch of stuff, and I said, if I had chapter and verse in front of me, I could talk more intelligently about it.
Are we talking all of them? Or
No, just this one, Article 3. Wait a minute. The one on
The contract.
contract zoning.
Yep.
The one that,
I messed that up.
so
So we're
this
rescinding
person
one.
said it was voted down last time. So
But the other ones are fine.
the other one's fine.
Well, for it, so these, aside from this, whatever someone's telling you, they have typos in them. So you gotta rescind them and pull the new ones. So the verbiage is how it needs to be when it comes to putting them on the ballot. Does that make sense?
Oh. So we gotta rescind our vote anyway, no matter
Yeah.
what.
Correct.
How do we do that?
Make a motion to rescind.
I move that we rescind our votes on Articles 3 and 4
From the, was it August 22nd? meeting?
from the August 22nd meeting, 2022. And move that we approve the revised orders.
Should we do those one at a time though? Should we
I would.
rescind first?
Okay,
Yeah.
Let's
I'd
just
be
rescind
happy.
it all together first.
I'll amend my motion. And I will say, I move that we rescind our votes on Article 3 and 4. made on August 22nd, 2022.
I will second that motion.
Any more discussion? Was there a hesitation or because?
Well, I assume that we're going to take up each article separately now.
That's why I
One we
changed
were
my
sending,
motion.
yes. Okay. All in favor? Okay.
Okay.
Rescinded. Okay. Article 5. That's Article 4. 3. Sorry. Okay. I got 3, I got 4. So Article 5.
There should be a 5.
Oh, there is.
Well, where-
Article 5, it's in on the very last page from A. To see if the town will vote to appropriate from surplus the sum of $60,000 for the purpose of cemetery tree removal and trimming.
Okay,
Just first, so you rescinded 3 and 4.
yes.
Correct.
Are you accepting the new ones? Because then if
Thank
you
you.
don't, then Article 5 becomes Article 3.
I think-
Sorry.
I think we're gonna vote on that separately, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was down further. Okay, I was just going by the order here.
I know.
So that's the order on Article 5. Any motion from anybody?
I move we accept Article 3 as written.
No, I read Article 5, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm
just gonna say
sorry,
for the-
I'll change
for the-
my motion.
Yeah, for the 5.
I move we accept Article 5 as written.
Hold on.
No, I thought we had to do
Confused.
3 and 4 first.
You rescinded
3 and 4.
So they don't exist right now.
Oh, okay, my bad, I'm out of order,
So
sorry.
you don't have to accept the new 3 and 4, but if you don't, Article 5 will
Got
take the place.
Okay, start all over. I'm a rookie. Okay, Article 3, as rewritten with all the typos taken out. Shall an amendment to the Town of Lyman Zone Ordinance Article 6, Section 6.3, Principal Building and Use be enacted as follows. Deleted language struck through. One accessory building or use is allowed has been struck through and replaced with accessory building. And the size of lot to be determined by and has been replaced by meeting the lot size, setback, and lot coverage requirements. And then in B, there shall be no more than one building for each principal use and no more than 2 buildings for an accessory use as limited by lot coverage requirements. Replaced by 1 principal building along with accessory building for lot meeting, the lot size, setback, and lot coverage requirements of section 6.2. And in C, they took out allowed for the site and put in requirements of section 6.2. Motion?
Can I move we accept Article 3 now?
Yep.
Okay, I just did.
I will second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Good. Article 4, this shall an amendment to the Town of Lyman zoning ordinance, Article 1, Section 1.8.3, contract zoning be enacted as follows. There's deleted language and added language. Deleted was, but not limited to, was taken out, nothing was replaced. And on F, one recommendation. One is for the land with an unusual nature or location, location, and is replaced by, that is an underline, but it's another inconsistent, is consistent with the comprehensive plan. And number two is took out but not limited to. Took out, well, let me just read this one's a little confusing. Is consistent with, striked out but not limited to. So it says it's consistent with the existing uses and permitted uses within a zoning district. Struck out and. And then the next one, that the conditions proposed are sufficient to meet the intent of this section and provide an overall benefit to the town as a whole. Provides an overall, that's, we could discuss that word. Last time we changed it, right?
I think so. I can't even remember what we started with now.
I'll make a motion, just to move it forward for discussion.
Okay.
I'll second it. I'd like to hear what you got to say.
Well, I received a couple of calls on it. A couple of people in town want contract zoning, and the other couple did not want.
Yeah.
So I had opposing phone calls, opposing views. Basically, the way this is worded now, it seems, which we did change it, I thought for the better. It really takes out contract zoning. You know, there's, you might as well put it out there to the town, do you want contract zoning? Or not? Because if you read it, you know, again, if you fall into this category, you don't need a contract. That is where the words "but limited to" came in. That gave you that side maneuver for the planning board to accept, or to an applicant to accept, or, you know, whatever. On the other hand, the people that didn't want it believe that it should just go to the town. Do you want contract zoning or not? Now, I know contract zoning is pretty popular in surrounding towns, but that could be a question. You know, do you want it or not? If you want the ability, because it basically throws the ordinances to the side, and what's best for the town will rule. We don't know what that is down the road. But this is kind of, I kind of agree, it's taking, you really wouldn't have a contract. If you meet all this, I don't see how you'd have a contract. You know, the maneuverability to bring something that's not allowed in that zone. It's
Not
saying
allowed
no.
anywhere else in town, not in that zone, Dave.
Well, it's,
You could, it means like.
I'm just bringing it up for discussion.
Okay.
I really don't care.
I'm giving you my
Yeah.
point. The way it looked to me was, the purpose of it, in very simple terms, for me, so I can deal with it, was what contract zoning does. It allows you to do something in one zone that isn't allowed there. Might be allowed in another zone in town. Might be fine. I think the reason they wanted to take out the not limited to is because the way they struggled with it on another project, and they couldn't even get a solid legal opinion, because they took it to MMA and they took it to 2 other attorneys and didn't get a solid opinion. And I think that's why the planning board was so adamant on taking that out. I've been around too long, but when Funky Bow was allowed via contract zoning. And that was a classic, because he had a situation. He had half of his property in the general purpose zone and half of it in the residential zone. And I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you've got, I don't know how many other properties are like that in town, but to me, zoning itself, at very best, you look at your town, you draw a bunch of lines. I mean, and I'm oversimplifying it. You make a guess, you say, okay, this is what we think will work here, and maybe you make a mistake. Well, to me, the purpose of contract zoning is, all right, we made a mistake the first time. We're gonna allow this business or whatever else this is in here. But if we made a mistake with the contract zoning, it lives and dies with the contract. So let's say, for example, and I'm gonna pick on Funky Bow because I am very familiar with that one. He has done a fantastic job. Never a police call, never any other issues. All right, hey, we made a good decision. Let's say he was a terrible tenant. We had police calls up there all the time. He owed money all over town. He's gonna get out and sell his business. That would give us the opportunity to say, hey, contract ain't going. This business is gonna die with you, pal. And to me, that's the real purpose of contract zoning, is to allow something that normally isn't there as an ordinance. You look at your comprehensive plan that you've worked on, and the comprehensive plan is supposed to be this future going through, and you look at it and you say, all right, we look at this fits with the comprehensive plan, and it fits with that, and it kind of general, we're not sure, but this is something, we contract zone this, and if everything goes to hell in a handbasket, at least we've made a mistake for only one generation. That's just my take on it. I think there's a lot of imagination left there. I think it's still a good tool, as stated. This matches the state ordinance a little more closely. The state ordinance doesn't have the part they struck out with the not limited to. So, I mean, in my opinion, it's a solid move. I don't even like government, okay? And I know.
Be careful. They're around, they're watching.
That's okay. That's okay. I mean, I honest to God believe governs least, governs best. And I know I struggle with that, everything we do here. But anyway, I'll
Do you have a
stop
rebuttal?
talking.
No, I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah. I just was important to me if you would understand where I was coming from.
I do.
Okay.
Okay. So then to make the motion. We did? Well, we were at discussion already? Oh.
Yeah.
I must. All in favor? I'm right on the fence on this one.
So just getting back here, he motioned to move to discussion. And they did.
He made the motion.
So that we could
Sorry,
discuss.
so that
Let's
we
not
could
do this
get to
again, guys.
discuss.
That's what I'm thinking.
What do you
I
have?
didn't know if you motioned it. I'm just trying to stop the.
And John, second.
Oh, that's right. He motioned it to go to discussion. He said, I'll make the motion so we can go to, so we can go to discussion.
He wasn't
That's right.
implying support.
That's right. That's right. And he seconded it. Then there was a discussion, and now we're,
Yeah.
after.
Let's make sure we get it right this time.
Did you finish the vote?
So there was two, and I'm not. Boy,
I'm just not sure of it. I
This
agree with
gets
what
it.
you said.
No, I'm not supposed to discuss anymore.
here we go. I just think there needs to be some more work done on it, so.
Is it a quick fix we can do right this minute or not?
I think I'm right up there with prescriptive use, just to educate myself more on this, because I think that both sides.
Are you see it?
Okay, all opposed?
All right, my teeth are floating.
Where did I see the wood chipper?
Do we have to do five?
Article, oh, jeez, I'm
But
sorry.
five becomes,
Well, now
Does five
five will
become
become
four?
four, so that's fine. You guys decide which order the
I'm
article
sorry.
goes.
3, 4, you got,
last page of that same.
right, okay. That was one. Good, wait for him.
Because it's all it's ever
You may
do something in town that's not allowed in another zone.
While you're waiting for him under new business, I think I missed the last meeting, the charter committee wanted to ask me an ad hoc. I think that got missed.
To do what?
I
We have
didn't,
ad hoc.
yeah, I didn't get a chance to ask for that.
So the charter committee was, we were supposed to have, I think last meeting, or this one, this is last time, we're like ended, but we wanted to stay ad hoc to be able to host meetings, to educate people on the changes we make in the charter. Remember talking about
Can we,
that?
can we do that out of the board?
Just at the end, we can, if you
We'll
can do.
put it under other.
Yeah, because I know this is the last night, I think, because then we're
Yeah.
at this point after this, right?
Okay, John's back. Article 5, which will become Article 4. See if the town will vote to appropriate the from surplus a sum of $60,000 for the purpose of cemetery tree removal and trimming.
We didn't put in there that we were gonna replace it when we sell land, did we? Is
You
that in there?
need to,
I didn't know.
because you're taking it out of surplus.
Yeah, but
So
it
when
would
you
be,
sell the land sales are gonna go in surplus.
not unless we, I understand that, but an explanation on the warrant would have been very nice.
That's the way we motioned it.
Yeah,
An issue to add?
No, really not.
Well, we could add and based on,
You guys, the last you left it was, you wanted legal advice on it, so that's what Brad Moore came up with, that's his word. If you wanna change it, it's up to you guys, you wanna add anything to it.
I just think that keeps it simple. But
Yeah.
it's just,
well, legal counsel said that. And then we have to have, you guys said we're gonna have the vote down below.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
before, you won't sign it tonight, we'll just make a motion on whatever it is you approve, and then I just add budget committee, select board, like, your guys' recommendations.
Is it legal to say, put a note, like a footnote? Does it have to be in the warrant that it's gonna be replaced by?
This order is in order to the clerk to put that article on the ballot. So
Mhm.
whatever wording you decide is what's gonna go on the ballot. So I mean, if you put a footnote on, it's gonna end up, you're adding wording to it.
That's what I mean.
I think the people should know,
I do too,
The
'cause if I
intent
just
of
saw that
selling the
flat
land.
out, yeah.
or either that, or put it, let it stand on its own. To put it out there to, I think it would be just as easy to expand that.
Yeah,
Is this the same thing like at town meetings where you have the article and then the statement of facts in the box?
That's what I was going
You
for.
can't put numbers. You can't have numbers in the article, unless it's different for what we're doing. That was the big thing we went back and forth in the charter, we got an opinion on. The article can't have money listed. It has to be listed down below, and then there's the select board and budget committee votes below. It was really crazy, because even Jeanette, we went through this whole thing, and the statement of fact is the box, but you can't have, she said 2020, it was written wrong, she can't put numbers in there unless it's different for this. So you might wanna ask Jeanette,
Oh, yeah.
she'll know,
I
do you remember
saying
that?
I do. I
So
remember
that's
saying
just
that.
something you're gonna wanna check with Jeanette, if you can actually put that quote unquote $60,000 number in there, or it has to be in the statement of fact where the select board is showing 60,000 in their vote and the budget committee is showing their vote, because we're meeting Thursday.
That would represent, Tom, that you wouldn't be able to change the money. You
Yes.
can lower it, but
You
you
go
can't.
down, you can't go up.
Right, you go
Yeah,
down,
good
you can't
point.
go up.
Good point.
So the article saying it just flipped for me, I just remember there was a big thing about that, how it was written wrong once, and then you can't have monies in that line.
We learn from our mistakes.
Um,
So can we have to rewrite it timing wise?
time. I mean, this
There's
is
no
it,
time, this
so
is
you're
it.
gonna have to figure it out tonight. Sorry.
That's what I was
It's just
afraid
the
of.
truth of it.
I knew, I could see her, I was like, "Hey, here we go again."
Yeah,
She's been rewriting and rewriting these.
I mean, I did talk to Jeanette about this and, you know, yeah, she came up with 60,000, I think, and then it went to Brad Warren and he came up with 60,000. So I guess you could, are you saying you could change the wording to, you know, appropriate funds from surplus to, you know, for this reason, and then select board's recommendation is 60,000 and then the budget committee?
Yes,
Okay, that
yes,
sounds very
That's
good.
What's
yes.
the budget
That's
committee
it.
gonna do with this?
We're meeting Thursday, because it's money's
Yeah,
on
we're meeting
surplus.
Thursday.
So you guys can motion on this, and then I will collect their vote, you know, I will finalize it by the ninth.
Yeah.
I just need a motion
And Paula said that was fine.
and the wording we want to use.
Is there gonna be an explanation anywhere on there where this is gonna come?
No, that's how it started this whole conversation. I guess you could put towards the end, on that footnote, to be reimbursed by selling of town land,
Town property.
town properties.
That's up to you guys.
I think the people would
guess I
feel
don't
better.
know. Yeah,
Well,
It'd
yeah,
be an explanation, you know?
yeah,
Yeah, because I think if I saw that just flat, I'd say, I don't think so.
no, I think that,
so let's go over the wording. You want to write,
see if the town will vote to appropriate from surplus money from surplus for the purpose of cemetery tree removal and trimming.
and then select board recommendation is 60,000.
And will be, it's not really reimbursed, like I said, when you sell it, it goes into the surplus anyway, but you gotta say it, I know, it's not, yeah.
Goes in the same account, but
Yeah,
might put somebody's mind at ease that
yeah,
it's kind of gonna.
it'll be reimbursed by the sale of town property. Wordsmith it however you want.
Surplus, money removed from surplus will be offset by the sale of town property.
There you go, that's a good way to word it, offset.
Offset.
You said to be offset?
Money
Oh, don't make me say it again. please.
Money removed from surplus will be offset by.
To see if the town will vote to approve money from surplus for the purpose of tree removal and trimming, for the purpose of cemetery. Tree removal and trimming to be offset by the sale of.
By sale of town land. Usually the only offset I think about is box end wrenches.
Board recommends 60,000. Yeah, you guys have to vote.
Vote, we need a motion to accept the revised.
I'll make a motion to accept the revised wording.
It's quick and dirty.
I'll second.
Okay.
Any more discussion?
As stated.
As stated.
That's it.
Any more discussion? All in favor? Okay, can we move on from that now? So we got 3, 4.
Am I pressuring you guys too much?
No, I just wanted, I messed it up there. I messed that whole, okay. Oh, God. Town items discussed putting it out to bid, wood chipper and furniture at transfer station. Which is B. on your tabs.
What's the wood chipper for?
That's from the
One
cemetery.
Echo Bearcat Chipper EX40 Premium on trailer in excellent working condition, includes extra blades, registered and roadworthy.
What's it for?
What the?
This is what the cemetery,
Yeah, we already own it.
yeah, we own
We
it.
own it.
Yeah, so
We're
we
trying
wanna
to get rid-
get rid of town asset.
What's he gonna do with the transfer station?
It's just that.
The chairs and.
Oh, the chairs in the from here.
Oh, the chairs.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
yeah, it was slash.
Why do
The
they wanna
the
sell
wood
it?
chipper that you're sitting in a chair with.
Why do they wanna sell a chipper?
It-
They don't think
It's not,
No, they
big
don't.
enough.
it wasn't big enough.
But I'm not for selling it right away.
That sounds like a big
I
chipper.
think it should go up in the
Building.
building.
It can go in the swap shop once it's closed in the winter. You can spend the winter indoors.
Like a feed.
No, it's not a real big one.
I don't think it's one of the typical.
They have a,
Yeah.
Triangle.
It's like a homeowner chipper.
I mean, we
Little
paid-
little bit
15.
bigger, it'll take, inch and a half.
Yeah. we paid $1,500 for it.
Yeah.
So it's
Not
not
real
commercial
nice.
grade like you have and you have, but
Right.
it's not a Home Depot.
No, it's not a homeowner special, it's kind of in the middle.
It's like this one Greg had.
Yeah,
So,
so
So I make a motion that we hold on to the wood chipper for the time being.
Yeah, I'll second that.
any more discussion? All in favor? Okay. Now chairs, tables and chairs. There are 34 chairs of mixed, one that were used to be out in here. And they said 4 tables. I think those were the ones that were behind there. Those,
They're different lengths and.
yeah.
Some are like 6, some are 8 feet,
yeah,
4 tables.
So we put those out the bid because they're taking up room and you guys were gracious enough to let us put it in there. I have a feeling my grace period's
Are
going.
these tables included in that? Because you're getting your new tables. Or are you getting new
No, I
tables?
don't believe so.
So you're
No,
gonna hang on to these.
Transportation.
well,
It's really good for voting.
One of them anyway.
We're short on tables.
yeah,
just for whatever.
yeah, it's gonna be a while before, we may not be till November before we get the new stuff.
Oh, okay, I mean. I'm
No, it's
just
good,
asking.
good thought, but if we need them for, because these are just covers on top of these folding tables, so, yeah. So, we need to get that out to bid,
I think Ed Sanborn made these.
He did,
so I heard.
So I make a motion that we post, what is it?
34.
To accept bids for 34 chairs and 4 tables that are currently located at the transfer station.
I'll
you
second
don't want to
that.
sell them single, do you, Tom?
No.
So that should be put in there, sell as a lot.
So I make a motion. that we- Sorry, I already made a motion. I'm not gonna do that again. We can post it that way. So we will post it.
Somebody bought 10 of them, it's 10 less we gotta deal with.
So you made a
I made a
motion,
motion
did
that we
anybody
post them.
second it?
It was seconded.
Okay, discussion. You hear what they want to talk about selling them 10 or 5?
Yeah, I don't care.
Get rid of 10,
I
10
made a
less.
motion to
Yeah,
post them for a bid.
Hey,
So
we agree.
She put it as a whole bid lot.
Mark on my calendar. Hey, the president can shake hands with nobody, I can mark my imaginary
There
calendar.
you go. No more discussion, all in favor? Good. Randy will be very pleased.
I need some details. When is this bid due, and when are you gonna open the seal list?
Well, we gotta post it for 10 days, so.
Post it in 10 days and the meeting after that.
Right.
We'll make it easy. Okay, getting there. Open sealed bids for RFP LED signs. I am taking this. Here, this is yours. I've already had my
Beaver
meeting.
Cove. This is Beaver Cove, come on.
I'm not
The
qualified.
newbie's job for the sign.
Yeah, I took my beating the first time.
Did you get any from the boys up north?
I don't know. It's all, there are 2 in there, she said. I asked, she didn't tell me. It's like, man, if that guy does it 3 times, it'll be up to 75,000.
All right,
Yeah.
So- bid number 1. from RD Belrose Carpentry out of Lyman. And the estimate is $14,400. And bid number 2 is from Bob Dooling. And the estimate is for $4,800.
Now we're talking.
Who was that from?
Bob Dooling.
Is there any explanation?
Let's see, job proposal, so the first one from Belrose Carpentry indicates it's a job proposal for the sign enclosure project, plans and specs reviewed for construction of this town project. This includes all materials and labor to build based on review total for your project. Insurance will be provided if awarded. The project and payment schedule would be half down to start, final payment due after town inspection. That's for the $14,400. And Bob Dooling says framing, siding, corners, channels and vents, roofing, drip edge, and AZAC trim and hardware for removable panels. Labor to build roof over new electric sign and side with white vinyl. So the first line is the materials for $2,900, and the second is for the labor, which is $1,900, for a total of $4,800.
Do we need to do any due diligence on those bids? Check the contractors out. Traditionally, we do. We've got multiple bids. I mean, if you guys want to waive it, I'm cool. I'm just throwing it out.
I know Bob.
Lawyer.
I know Bob.
Yeah, I don't know either one of
He's
them.
good. Yeah, the other guy I don't know, I do, I know Bob. You guys want? Should we bring him in and talk to him? How's it done?
Well, what you usually do is just your clerk would just check the way you would any company that went on a bid, any of their records. I mean, if they had to dig something, dig safe records, just anything that's out there on the net, past business practices and stuff like that.
So do we make a motion to accept pending?
Yeah, anything you want to do, and I'm not saying you absolutely have to do it on this small
I
bit.
think it's a good idea. I mean, I think, I'd like to meet them at the sign. I think I was supposed to have a meeting with them and it never happened.
So would Lindsay do the due diligence part and you do the actual interview?
Yeah.
I think I just made a motion.
A motion to accept this one.
The 14,000? I mean, the 4,000.
What?
4,000! Easy, everybody.
To accept Bob Dooling.
It's Bob Dooling.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll second.
I want to just be clear on who we're accepting.
Pending
Positive.
a positive review.
Any more discussion? All in favor? Wonderful. Fine. Boy, paved roads and a possible sign bill. Approval to appoint the CEO assistant, Julie Lemieux? What did I do with it? Oh, here it is. As the administrative assistant to the code enforcement officer. Jessica, you can give us details?
Yep, so hiring committee interviewed 3 applicants and recommended that we could proceed with any of the 3 based on qualifications, and then made the recommendation, as they had in the past, to have the CEO be part of the interview process for next steps. Brenda and I sat in on interviews. There were 3 scheduled, 1 backed out, so we interviewed 2. And Brenda felt the most comfortable with Julie. She currently works part-time for an electrical contractor that in Lyman, and has also worked with the transportation department in RC 57. So good solid background. be a good fit.
And salary was negotiated?
Yeah, so we're pushing it 190. Within budget and room for stuff.
And Brenda was on board?
Yeah, it was ultimately Brenda's decision. We both were more than qualified to perform the work, so Brenda was ultimately.
I make a motion to accept.
I'll second that.
Any more discussion? All in favor? Okay, another document in here this is the to add and remove to Affinity account. To remove Angela Cushman, Nancy Brandt, Patty McKenna, and add Lori Konska and Holly Hutchins to the town savings account held at Affinity Credit Union.
I'll make that motion.
Yeah, I'll second it.
Discussion? All in favor? Aye. And KBP committee. Okay, fine. You,
No. What, I gotta do I just received, yeah.
The last discussion, you said something about funds for cameras. At the last meeting.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
where you left
yeah,
it.
because because we were talking about it being in the APA, but it's actually in the 20,000 that's already been allocated to
Mhm.
K-Funk.
Yeah, I think like some cameras for both.
Yeah, so we're all set with
You're all
that.
set? Okay.
But if the committee is listening, I just received the proposal from David Maines for his services totaling $3,900. And we received a landscape designer proposal for $700. But this is two different, it's two different things. One's a designer, one's an architect. So I'm gonna give this to the committee and see what they wanna do with it.
awesome report.
Do you need a vote on that?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
Not until.
Did DEP ever call you, Dave?
no. No, they have, I emailed them, called them.
Get this straight.
Lindsay emailed and called, I think. Would you mind doing that again?
Probably a different person now from this district,
Hopefully.
every 4 weeks.
But it's, well, I can talk to the committee about that.
Okay. So before we make a motion to adjourn to sign, the scope of work for the pavement, we're not signing this tonight, or?
Yeah, it's up to you guys. I think you guys, we were gonna pave a portion of it and I just need to know, I think where I was gonna send that still pending Brad's review. Cause Brad Nichols said we have time, he's not gonna pave it tomorrow. So I think we can hold off on that if
Okay.
you want.
All right, so I've got the order in here for principal use, the credit union, Julie, and then these I don't have, these are, just so everybody knows, these are certificate of appointments for Brenda,
Those are approved at the last meeting.
approved last meeting, so that's what these signatures are. So nothing's new. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, that's right. Well, we haven't adjourned yet. We still have opening for,
Oh, right.
that was in the signature package, right? And with the ones that we, I didn't see him either, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay, I just don't wanna miss them.
No, good point.
Get paid.
I guess these are the ones to sign. I thought she had it in the signature. $20,000. Okay, sorry.
Thank you. Is it everywhere, yeah.
Let me just double check on the agenda.
Okay, I don't think that's good enough.
Can you sign and listen at the same time?
Yeah.
Well, no, Michelle will have some.
Yeah, so as the charter commission was ending, we wanted to become an ad hoc committee. And I think it was supposed to get on the agenda either last time or this time, I know it didn't get on last time. So that we can actually have meetings and have hearings. Then we're gonna advertise to have the public come and ask questions about the proposed changes that we've made to the charter for the upcoming November election. So it's just be able to inform the public, be able to stand at the transfer station with flyers, just keep informing the public of the changes and to know what they're voting on. So we just wanted to become ad hoc at the end. I think officially, yeah. So we were just gonna ask the select board if they would be willing to list.
I'm sorry.
I do not have an issue with that. I think information is healthy.
We'll clear everything through Lindsay.
Yep.
For scheduling and letting the public
We
know.
need to make a vote on it.
Pass that down to John.
Look at this one.
This one.
Not surprised.
Yeah, it wasn't 4 hours.
Not done yet.
I think we need a motion.
Just a motion, no executive session written tonight.
It was on there.
I didn't see any MSR.
No, it's just Fred and John. There was no-
Sure.
It's just a blank,
Yeah.
okay.
Just a placeholder if it's needed.
Morris?
Oh, I'm gonna be thorn on your side again.
Do you wanna finish
That-
that?
Oh,
2 meetings ago, maybe 3 meetings ago now.
Wait a minute, Morris.
Hold on for a second.
I think Jess is waiting for some, she's on with us, she's not making any
Oh.
motions.
Yeah, we need that.
Oh,
Um,
how can you do that?
You can second something,
What,
Mr. Chair.
what am I doing? So what am I?
Making an ad hoc committee.
Ad hoc committee of the
Oh,
charter.
I'll second that, yeah,
No,
yeah,
you-
yeah.
No,
you
you're
gotta make
first
it.
I
You
made
have
the
to make the
motion.
motion.
Made the motion.
Oh,
Technically, we're not in session anymore, so I'll second the motion that the
Right.
charter committee.
You
No,
already-
no. Charter.
Oh,
commission.
charter
I
issue. Oh, yeah.
apologize. I will second the motion to have charter commission
Okay.
be appointed as an ad hoc committee.
Discussion? Is it the whole
Yes, same group,
same? group?
Everyone, yeah.
Okay. All in favor? There.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Morris, sorry. Gotta keep this straight.
No, okay. Back a couple, 3 meetings ago, I asked you why there was not an article in the warrant for town meeting considering the South Waterville Road. And you said it was just an oversight. Well, there's no article in the warrant for the special, for the election coming up. Can you give me some reason that you couldn't do it now? And take some of that surplus money and put it towards the South Waterville Road?
I
We
can't,
took $50,000 for the light, for the
Yep.
cemetery committee and the equipment, there's gonna be a tremendous amount of surplus left over here.
Yep.
This year.
Yep.
I mean, are you gentlemen, ladies, deaf against
And this
this?
another one? Good thing you.
I don't
It was an oversight, I think, Tom,
Okay.
basically, even the budget committee didn't even pick it up.
Yes, but why don't they add it now?
Yeah, it should go back in there, it has been in there for a couple of years. For some reason, it didn't get printed last year, and we never caught it.
yeah, I don't think anybody's against it. I don't remember talking anything
Well,
negative.
John was, I mean, and I know why John was, and I don't disagree with him. John wanted to do it in lump sum. I mean, I understand what John, we talked about that.
You're talking about
It's all
adding
over.
money to it, right, Morris? What Morris is talking about is taking a chunk of money out of surplus and putting it in the South Waterboro Road. We're not gonna get any state match for what, another 3 or 4 years, because they just did the skinny.
No, that's not true. That is not true. I talked to Wayne Perry, and he said as soon as we get lined up together, we just gotta approach him.
They'll match whatever we put
And
in.
that's whatever we put in. That's not true, John.
If we had 50,
That's
they'll match
different,
50.
that's the information I have.
But I think you ought to have $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 to get a decent match, so you can do a decent section. You ought to do the section from the Kennybrook Pond Road up to the, what I call the swamp, but at least up to the, almost up to the transfer station,
Which is the worst area.
which is the worst area. Take them big hummocks out of there and, you know,
That would take the curse out of them wanting to, for us to take over the road, which we do not want to do.
I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna come to us, it's gonna come back to us, and we're gonna end up taking over that road.
Right, and we don't want that, I'll tell you.
We don't mind doing it, we want the road built so it lasts 20, 25 years before it gets touched again.
Right,
Have you talked with your guys, Brad, at DOT,
I have.
and they say you immediately come up with $500,000, we'll drop everything and go to work on this road?
I have.
And that's
I've
what they
gotten it
said.
from two different people. That money, that grant, so to speak, or that program is still there, still viable.
That's not the question I asked you.
John, why are you saying that?
Because we got some paperwork from the state a while ago, and I saw that, and I talked to the board about it. I says, hey, look at this, let's talk with them, and if they're gonna match on that, and I called up there, and I said, look, you guys are scheduled to put skinny mix on this. Instead of putting good money after bad, why don't you hang on to that? We do a vote, put a bunch of matching money with it, and let's do something. And it came back, the wheels were already in motion, they would not even consider doing that. And I mean, I wished I'd kept my notes.
I talked to Tim Larson when I rode with him.
Yeah.
Before they paved it, and I asked him that question. And he said, you're right, the wheels are in motion, and there's no stopping them putting the skinny mix down.
Right.
But that program, that if they wanted, we wanted to do a matching program down the road, he said is still available.
Yes, that's what I'm not disagreeing with that down the road.
No, not down the road.
Well, it would take us a couple of years to have
It
some
would
money.
take a couple more years, John, to
Right.
get enough money together to really make it worthwhile.
Right.
So wait a minute, so how much were you gonna take? I don't even wanna talk about this tonight.
Well, yeah, well, it's too late to get
Put
anything.
the article in there.
We don't have any article, I mean, it'd be too late right now, right?
You're right.
You have to do it right now.
Yeah,
So the only way it's gonna happen is if I go get a petition and have a special town meeting. That's the only way that this is gonna happen. You know, and it's, I don't,
These articles, 3, 4, and 5, aren't those gonna have to be printed and put in?
Yeah, they have to Friday. I mean, can you just, do you know what the other article said? Is it just gonna be the same language as last time? Does anything change?
It is the same wording, it just, it was a
We don't
minute
have a
ago.
number to vote on. We need to vote on a number, Michelle.
So is there a specific number or is it just the vote?
Well, there was a number of 50,000 we put in when we
Right.
started.
I think we're gonna take a lot more than that.
That's what we started.
That we-
Yeah.
we
That's what I'm
can't,
saying.
yeah,
It's fine, John.
yeah, I understand, it's kind of like the 11th hour, and we just really can't, without a number, I mean, verbiage is one thing, but a number,
Right.
50, 250, anywhere in the middle, that's not, we'll be in trouble.
Then you won't get upset if I get a petition sometime down the road and have a special town meeting, I'm raising some of this money.
I'm not gonna be upset.
David?
Me?
Yeah.
Do I look like I ever get upset?
Yes.
Of course not.
Yes, I think you can get upset at times.
I'll even sign the petition.
I try not to.
I don't.
All right. Anything else? Motion?
The motion.
You're all looking tired.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
We're not gonna discuss that.
Oh, discuss.
Sorry. Adjourned.
Adjourned. Darn it. It was less than 3 hours.
I won't get home until